secret. I wanna know, was it serious? I need it clear, my best friend. Isn't easy to show with the weight of the world on my shoulders. I know I told you. It's the best light I know. It's not a game that I am playing. My love, trying to hold my feeling. I don't know what's right. I'll find the best way. I think that I might. I know you made it in the nick of time. I'm calling on you.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us this evening here at the CSL. We have a very special exhibition match coming our way tonight that we just could not be more excited for. Now, my name is Kyle Corvus. Crow Coco the Dragon will be here shortly, but the show must go on in the meantime. So we do have Arizona State University out of the Southwest coming up against Stony Brook out of the Northeast. A little cross-country fire coming these ways. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, wait, we're still in divisional play, right? We are. It's just an exhibition. Two very strong teams with two very strong records. Stony Brook currently sitting undefeated. ASU, I believe, only dropping the one game thus far. Both of these teams certainly in the hunt for contention for the Las Vegas Grand Finals that they want to get to, want to throw down at. And of course, now we're getting to see just a little bit of a sneak preview of that action here. So right away, we're going to be able to get into the picks and bans. Arizona State will be assuming the blue side. SBU, Stony Brook, yet again on the red side for this. I do believe it is a best of three. Till further notice, we will be continuing with that. And right off the rip, the Kazakhs is taken off the board. So fun little facts just about this. Zixstorm, the name of Karud Zixstorm, the name of the jungler, right? So if that doesn't tell you, hey, here might be a champion to target for this guy. Anytime there's a champion's name in a summoner name, you kind of think, okay, yeah, that's probably worth considering here. He's got quite a few games on this champion here. Best Rammus, okay. Another, we'll see. I doubt we're going to see a Rammus come out of this one in particular, but yeah, who knows? Oh, hello. I'm apparently, over here. Hi. Yeah. I'll try to adjust and keep my mic where it can be here so you can see my face. I'm a narcissist, so always love to be in front of the camera, right? Just teasing. But either way, the Gangplank taken out, the Mordekaiser and the Kiana as well. A lot of jungle. I was going to say not much in the bottom lane, but there is the Misfortune ban. You just have to take it off the table if you're not going to first pick it on the blue side in most levels of play right now, although that does get a little bit more flexible the kind of better teams get. And so these two very strong teams all in the, diamond and above area, we'll see to the degree they're feeling that. The set taken off the table as well. Not a lot of teams as comfortable playing around it. So may feel like a little bit of a solo queue ban, but this champion is still just causing chaos in all aspects of the Rift. And speaking of a champion causing chaos, the Aphelios left open is instantly first picked for ASU. The Caitlyn comes through as well. So we always saw some, solo lane bans taken off and around in this place. It's the bottom lane that's going to be given priority right off the Rift in the draft here. So curious to see how these teams are going to be able to kind of make the most use of that with the Nautilus picked up as well. Got to believe that that's going into the bottom lane to support the Caitlyn, although it technically can flex to a couple of other places. It's not common, but you could see it top lane, more so the jungle if anywhere else. But this just broadcasts, hey, we're going to see quite a few more solo laners banned, I believe. Just likely that we're going to have, jungles, supports, ADs, they're going to be picked up in the first round of things. No huge surprises there. The solo laners will be saved for the second round of the draft. That's something we see, I would say, pretty commonly at a collegiate level. A lot of teams, very solo lane centric, like to kind of pick that up a little later on. Just feel out the draft as it gets going a little bit further here. And so you generally see quite a few of those pools restricted. But that's just the hallmark of training these guys to be absolutely great solo laners. And I say the Pantheon here, that's an interesting one. Curious what ASU is going to do with that one. Of course, not the newest rework of Champions, but not the Pantheon of old that everybody knows and loved either. A little bit stronger here. And maybe, hey, I'm eating my words. The Vladimir picked up as well, something very flexible for this SBU squad. Curious to see what they're going to be able to pick up now as we do get ready to go into the second phase of bans. Pretty slow going thus far. Just the Elise taken off the table. Nothing too wild thus far. So, does say they want to put a little bit of emphasis on the jungle here, want to constrict that one for the side of Arizona State University. We saw Adam W earlier in the year. If you didn't catch it beforehand, we did have Arizona State on the stream. I believe we had an interview with their coach as well. Following that one, I believe that was all the way back in week 3 when they played. Maybe it was Embry Riddle or somebody like that. So I'm sure the official game is on our YouTube, youtube.com/C Star League. If you want to go back and find that one, this is not the first time this season. Anyway, case in point that we saw ASU. They were absolutely dominant in their best of 3 series against again Embry Riddle is I'm fairly certain the team they played. So we gotta look at like a little bit of what these guys can do. So assuming SBU, a team of their caliber, has done their homework, has actually gone through and watched that footage, they're gonna know kind of what some of these players are very much capable of doing. Adam W, Kaiser Mord, Hanja, all standouts, I believe, in that series at one point or another. Why you have the Mord taken off the table, banning the Elise against him, constricting that jungle pool. Now ASU, they're not afraid to constrict that pool themselves either. They got the Echo, the Jarvan. They say, hey, look, we'll take that off the table. Now I am being told that we have a little bit of an issue with the pro draft here, and that the last ban may not be showing up correctly. That is a Rise ban. Chat, that is going to be Rise taken off the table here. Not going to be the one to come in. So they don't want to see it. They don't want to give that to the mid laner there. Ramus picked up for Stony Brook University. So best Ramus, okay. Well, he's going to feel like he wants to play that champion in and out. They had the one targeted name ban away, Karud Zix Storm. Not going to get to play that. But, oh, wait, nope, sorry. Again, the issues just keep rolling in. That is an Olaf pick. I think the Ramus just a placeholder here. So, a lot of fun to figure that out. So this is gonna, I'm trying to keep track of so many things in my head. Rises off the table. Ramus is Olaf. We'll see if they throw us any other variables. The Trundle, I'm going to assume that is correct. I just believe that should be there. So very blue color palette being picked up for the Sun Devils thus far of ASU with the Trundle and the Braum. Some frail Yord friends here to participate, and we'll see what they do round out their composition with. Because now, SBU, they're going to be able to last pick kind of whatever they want to in a solo lane role, assuming they can assign the Vladimir anywhere. Is it going to be against the Pantheon? Is it going to be against the Cassio? Okay, now I'm assuming, yes, this is probably something that you just want to counterpick the Cassio with. Let the Vladimir run up against the Pantheon. But, SBU, they may have another tactic in mind. And we're going to see what exactly that is when they do decide to go ahead and lock it in here. The composition for ASU, though, already rounded out, already very well put together. What immediately strikes me is this team comp is just a dog at team fighting. I mean, this thing is going to suck to team fight against. They're going to pick up the Alawi, though, on the side of Stony Brook, run that likely into the top lane against the Pantheon. This composition becomes a lot more poke heavy and sustained for SBU with the Caitlyn, with the Vladimir, and then you just got two obnoxious in your face frontliners with the Alawi, with the Ramus and Nautilus to tie it all together. Two very respectable comps. I'm quite curious to see how they're going to be able to butt up against one another effectively. I think I always tend to place quite a lot of emphasis on the jungle matchups, who's able to outpace, get in the face of their enemies quicker. What I'm seeing immediately is very safe lanes, very hard to gank lanes for Stony Brook University. It's going to go Trundle just a little bit of trouble here. And, Olaf, on the other hand, for Stony Brook, just running at him, will have some good gank potential on the Cassio if he can blow that flash early. Will have some good gank potential on the Pantheon if he can make the rounds routinely, and really only may have a little bit more trouble on this Aphelios Braum side of the map. Now, one thing to consider, that's exactly what ASU picked up first here in the draft, Aphelios and Braum. They said, we got to let these ones come through early. We know we can win with them. We know they're strong. That's where all of our priority needs to be. They did give up the Caitlyn for it. Caitlyn Nautilus, a very safe lane one. I think that Aphelios and Braum are going to need to outpace substantially, or things get a little bit tricky there later in the game. And speaking of late game, the Vladimir, the Caitlyn, SBU have built for themselves a ticking time bomb composition. You let this go on long enough, it's going to blow up in your face, right? So that's certainly, I think, something ASU are feeling the pressure on. Thankfully, they have the aggression of the champions to deal with that if they want. So, Braum, no slouch at engage or disengage. Pantheon, an engage monster. Cassio, a little bit more versatile with her, ultimate, the Petrifying Gaze. If you want to use it defensively, if you want to use it aggressively, you have your options, and then the Trundle Pillar as well there. So I think the one thing that I do very much like here is where SBU's composition is much more of a go button with their front line and then, poke sustain with the back line. ASU has a composition that really can pick its fights quite well and decide, hey, we want to go in on this. Hey, we don't want to be in on this. So I really don't see much ground for ASU to have an excuse of like, that was just a bad fight for us, barring a pick or something, because they really should be the ones saying, hey, no, we want to take this fight, or hey, no chance. We don't get that fight away from us. Spray it. So we'll see what does come of that one as it does get rounded out. And just going through the process, picking up the last few champions. As we got to do this in pro draft, and then we got to do it in the client, of course, thereafter. And following that, of course, is our lovely, wonderful 3-minute delay. So I feel like we put a little bit of good talking on these compositions. You should know kind of what to expect, but here in the meantime, we will take the time to just give the players a little bit of the shout out that they deserve. That name recognition, right? For Arizona State University in the top lane is going to be Kaiser Mord playing the Pantheon, Adam W on Trundle, Map Slim playing the Casio in that mid lane, Hansha in the AD role on Aphelios, and Brahm's going to be picked up by Hi It's Jimmy in the supporting role. Now on the other side, Stony Brook University, Best Ramus OK taking the Alawi in the top lane. It's going to be where we saw that fun Olaf hover pick. His Best Ramus, that's a fun name. Olaf being played by Kyrud Zik Storm. Vladimir is going to be picked up by Michael Bacon there in the mid lane. The AD role is going to be Sausageberry playing the Caitlyn, and Pack Rat on the Nautilus in the supporting role. So curious to see how these players are all going to whittle it down to the wire. As they're just about ready to get in game. We're just about ready to kick it to break for our 3-minute delay. But in the meantime, of course, before that, we do want to give some love to our wonderful sponsors. First and foremost is the lovely HyperX. We want to extend a huge thank you to them for being the peripheral sponsor of the CSL for the back half of our split, which is the beginning of this calendar year. And most importantly, our peripheral sponsor for our big live event grand finals in Las Vegas. That's going to be much bigger than just League of Legends. We got all the other titles coming out there that you do know and love on the CSL stream as well. So HyperX, just insane levels of support to them for that. Next, of course, is the one and wonderful GameStop, promoting CSL and collegiate esports through their GameStop weeklies. Performance Center, you can find out all about that, GameStop.com/esports, all the weekly titles that they are running in tandem with the school year with us. So the next one on that docket should be actually, hey, you're watching it, League of Legends, followed by Smash Ultimate, Rocket League, and TFT to close out the back half of this season. So a lot of fun stuff there, a lot of great ways to get involved. You can also learn more about the GameStop Boot Camp, partnered with Complexity to help us out there. GameStopBootcamp.com to enter more about that. But either way, definitely check out what those guys are doing and kind of how they're supporting collegiate esports going forward, because we could not do this without them. Now, in the meantime, we're going to throw it over to our quick little break, get through the 3-minute delay, and when we come back, we'll have game number 1. Thanks.
I wanna find a new keeper. I like the way it's mysterious. I think I found my own way. Isn't easy to show with the weight of the world on my shoulders. I know I told you it's the best ride I know. It's not a game that I am playing. Hold my feeling, I don't know what's right. I'll find the best way, I think that I might. I know you made it in the nick of time. I'm calling on you. I think we're made of something. I think we're made of something.
Watching it end again and again. I feel it in waves, you follow me. Drifting to places I should leave. So close to the edge of something so perfect. We were too scared to take the leap. I'm missing the way we used to be.
Well, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, just in time for game number 1. Like we said before, Arizona State University on the blue side. And if you're just joining us, it is Stony Brook taking to the red side of the rift. Both of these teams in exceptional position this season. We have a real treat on our hands for tonight, as I believe only one lost series between these teams in total. A couple dropped games here and there, but I believe the only lost series is on ASU's B team here. Who we are, of course, seeing the B team, keep in mind, versus Stony Brook coming in. I believe they're undefeated at this point. So, like we said, both of these teams well in the hunt for that Vegas finals, well in the hunt for a strong playoff showing. We'll see if they can do it, and we'll see kind of how a little bit of Northeastern versus Southwestern style does match up here. It's a, hey, look at that, even convenient on the way that, Southwest side of the map, that's going to be Arizona State. Northeast side of the map, hey, what do you know? Stony Brook. Fun little coincidences. We did not plan this. I think teams would get mad if we went to that degree of trying to postulate here in the games themselves. Everyone just having a slow enough start. They're going to draw the line of scrimmage here. No one wanting to get too aggressive. That tends to be fairly lock, stock, and barrel at this level of collegiate play. You kind of see a bit of a standard deviation, like the bell curve, right? Is most of the teams in the platinum diamond range are going to just draw that line, take a pretty safe start, not do anything crazy. And then the outliers, right? It's, you got the teams in silver and gold that are just going to try crazy level 1 invades. And then you have just like the teams of pretty much semi-pros that are going to also try those invades and just crazy stuff. But, most of the time, even though these players are on definitely the higher echelon of skill that we have, they're going to want to keep it safe, keep it pretty cool. Both of these compositions want to execute on different things, and neither of them want to feel like, hey, we lost so early just because of a crazy little level 1 discrepancy. They'd rather just get to lane phase, start slapping each other around, and try to take the pace of the game into their own hands from there. That's something that I'm looking at Karud Zixstorm in particularly for. Just playing this Olaf, he's already cleared his red buff, did start on that side, now going to be migrating back down towards that bottom half of the jungle. Maybe wants to find that early gank or stay in that area just for a little bit of earlier pressure, because it's pretty standard for the junglers to start their strong side. Hey, you know what, just let me get the leash from my AD support. Olaf, I think one that definitely benefits from that. And you can see just taking that red buff start, his mana is incredibly low already. It's not going to be an issue for destroying the blue buff, but something that he definitely wants to deal with quicker. Now, this is, in the meanwhile, Adam W, just a sustain monster throughout the entirety of this one. Yeah, he's Trundle. He can do what he wants. Gonna get and just check those out. Now, do need to keep in mind, ASU actually have swapped mid and top lane. Wasn't expecting that. Something that took a second to catch my eye there. Kaiser Mord, Map Slim, they're just going to say, hey, look, we want different matchups and, forget you. We're not even going to try to play this game. So we'll see now the Alawi in the top lane. Best Ramus, okay, what he can do when Adam W comes in for a gank. The pillar connects very well. There's the combo coming out from Cassio, and the health bars drop in, and first blood is picked up handily by the likes of Arizona State. Well, that's just not what you want if you are the side of Stony Brook University. Not the best start here, and you expect Olaf to be maybe the tad more aggressive one to start. Just come into lane, throw the undertow, get where you're going immediately. Well, this time, Adam W, all he needed was a pillar to make that one happen. Map Slim had the damage in the top lane, and already you can tell that it feels like, Best Ramus and Michael Bacon not adjusting to this lane swap as well as they may want to. You got a much more traditional matchup that feels like a top lane, right? Pantheon versus Vladimir going on here. But speaking of, we actually have a gank in the mid lane. It's going to force the flash from Michael Bacon. He was, caught off guard just a little bit there, and yet again, just walking into lane. Now, meanwhile, down in the bot lane, Karud Zixstorm in a little bit of trouble, having to flash himself over that wall. And just like that, I mean, it's too fast to keep up with, right? These people on the side of ASU are just making moves in a speedy, snappy way. Karud Zixstorm, he's going to be feeling that one for a little while. Flash on Olaf, definitely something you want to keep together here. Didn't have that going for him this time, so we'll lose that, burn a couple of key flashes, and I think most importantly is keeping all the flashes very much alive and well on the side of Arizona State here. So the Sun Devils going to be feeling pretty good about their posture with all this one, all things considered. Are falling just a little bit behind CS in this bottom lane here, but not the end of the world. I mean, what, you missed 3 overall comparatively, and so Sausageberry not going to be able to really sustain super long here in this lane. Just once the mana does start to dry up, can't be throwing those Piltovers, can't be hitting them with, net and then auto attack, some of the things that are fairly crucial to Caitlyn's ability to really harass these lanes down and, feel pretty bad against a Braum anyway. So I think Sausageberry's just said, hey, look, you know what? I'm just going to use my mana clearing the waves, keep this as a CSing advantage, because I'm really not going to be able to levy that much good harass down onto the head of the Braum. Not really going to be able to make Hansha's life that miserable, but I can try to jump out to an early lead in CS, back for mana, and then come back with a VF Sword, which is exactly the plan here. And speaking of the plan, maybe a little interrupted for Zixstorm, as he wanted to maybe find something in that mid lane. Instead, did find some vision, cleared it out, said, hey, no worries about that one. We're going to be just fine. Kaisermord offering a lot of respect to this lane thus far. He did have the aggressive start, the long sword refillable pot with the biscuits. He wants to be able to stay where he is, deal damage kind of consistently over this Doran's, and just, I don't think he's having to respect the Vladimir. Can't play too far up on it, can't get right in its face like he might want to with other champions here. So definitely maybe feeling the raw end of that lane a bit, but certainly worth it for what MapSlim's able to do in this top side. Now, meanwhile, speaking of the top side, there is teleport advantage, but I don't think ASU can really do anything to stop this dragon. They're not going to be able to fight for it. They're just going to get the vision and immediately smite it away. Means SBU, picking up a huge dragon there, but meanwhile in the top lane, Best Rammus, okay, he's getting really beat up on by MapSlim, and that's actually going to be a solo kill for that one coming out entirely. So you take the dragon, we'll take another kill on our resume, and that's going to feel really good for themselves. I think MapSlim will be fairly happy with that. That's a hard trade for the whole team to feel happy with, I would say, just because, look, you just gave an Ocean Drake to a team with Vladimir. Like, that kind of sucks any way you cut it. But at the end of the day, it's not the worst thing in the world that they are getting the Cassio rolling. Adam W also wants to get in on this Vladimir. Michael Bacon going to be forced to pull early, and he'll just heal it right on back. I mean, that's the strength of the Vladimir, and Adam W, I think, being considerably down at that time. I think he was level 5 when he walked into the lane, so did just hit 6 from the experience that he was able to kind of leech off of the mid lane there. No real ability to make that gank happen in any meaningful way. So yeah, just kind of shows his face, says, hey, you know what, we're exerting the pressure, just kind of keeping the fear factor alive and well where we can. And besides that, this game is looking a little bit more evenly than you might expect for teams of this caliber. I mean, they're good, but generally the way it happens in CSL is that 2 good teams meet and one absolutely bulldozes the other. Tends to be the way we know it. But meanwhile, here in the bot lane, we do have a little bit of engage going on. Packrat, though, has to be careful. Here's the Pantheon coming on down. It's Jimmy just buying some time with that Braum pass. Meanwhile, Kaisermord able to take out Sausageberry, and they don't even need Pantheon to come in to kill off Packrat because of Philios. Well, he is online as well, baby. That is a huge pickup coming up for ASU. We're not done, though, however. The top lane, what a pillar to come in. Adam W, you monster, just putting another one right in the bag for MapSlim. And just like that, they're out to a 5-0 head start, and Rift Herald is going to be the next thing they set their eyes to. No contest from the other side of SBU to try to take this Rift Herald out and away. So while they were quick on the objective play for that first dragon, now they're starting to really feel a little bit of the heat and the pressure of being behind on that one. The Rift Herald now squarely in the hands of ASU. Oh, hang on. We have a teleport coming in behind the bot lane. They just really want to keep this Cassio rolling here, and that's a huge petrifying gaze. Instantaneously just destroys Sausageberry here. And Packrat, well, he's going to have some fancy feet to try to get out of that one. The dredge line does get him to safety early, and he does just navigate the dodge very well on the Glacial Fissure coming out of Braum. So the teleport for just one kill on Map Slim, you know, they wanted to find a little bit more out of that, but this is at least going to break the wave clear coming out of the side of Stony Brook here. So they're now going to be able to shove down this tower, I think, quite effectively here and feel pretty good about that one. Maybe take some of those plates early out and find a good candidate for the Rift Herald. I would say for anyone at home who's not seen it, there was a great, I think I found it on Twitter, but it's probably just all over socials, anywhere you follow the LCS. Hang on, we'll get to that in a second. Mid lane, we got a couple ganks coming in. See if they want to get the fight all the way down. That's very low for Map Slim already. Adam W's doing what he can. He thinks he can kind of 2v1 this one, and just like that, flashes in for the kill. Well, he was right, son of a gun. Best Ram is okay in the meantime, making Kaisermord's life a little bit hairy in the top lane, but both, I think, are going to need to back off effectively. And at the end of the day, both teams trying something here, but it is ASU yet again that's coming out on top of this one. 7-0 now in the kill front. It's all just kills making the difference. They're behind CS literally everywhere. Jungle, top, mid, AD, all of it. Even the support, right? I mean, if you really want to get pedantic with it, they're behind CS on all fronts. But they just have kills. They just are drawing blood anywhere they can, and that is making the difference in this gold lead right now, as no towers have gone down. Only a Dragon and a Rift Herald exchanged in equal parts. Otherwise, feeling very good about this one. Now, we'll see if we can get back to the original point. Maybe not. Maybe we have more fighting. Yep, they just want to get the Braum. That's going to be a huge play turnaround by Hancha, though. And what a flash coming out of the side of Jimmy just to get away from the Piltover Peacemaker. It was very close. Didn't know if it was going to kill him. Said, we're not going to take the risk. Just pops that flash, and he is out cleanly. Beautifully done. Well, if there's got to be a way to solo cast a game, right? It should be a bloody game like this. 8 kills in 11 minutes. More action hopefully to follow here. Yes, we did have a little bit of a slow start, but meanwhile, they want to get all the pressures they can down on this tower, and that's the Rift Herald pop. So that was the point I was actually about to start making before we got to this one. Is there was a great video posted by the production team of the LEC about how to best use Rift Herald, and I won't get into all of the specifics, but it essentially came down to the best teams are going to make sure they really optimize the damage coming out of Rift Herald. Okay, yeah, well, no duh, but what does that look like, right? So essentially, obviously, 2 procs, 3 if you can make it happen, always feels just outstanding. Drawing pressure here now with this Drake, I think a great use. One thing we can certainly praise ASU for, they had to stop the Rift Herald from crashing in on a tower yet again, or Shelly, I should say, from crashing on tower yet again, so there's no help from the bottom lane. But essentially, the best time, almost always, to pop that Rift Herald is when there's just 2 plates left on a turret, because it's going to do true damage. That means the turret's not going to gain any more of its defenses anytime there's champions around, anytime that, you know, it falls below a certain HP threshold and thus becomes harder to take. It's just a pretty clean pickup. And speaking of clean pickups, they want to find Map Slim. This is an Olaf. You can't just use a Petrifying Gaze on him, and you've just given over a hell of a lot of shutdown gold over to the side now of SBU, and they're going to feel great about that one. Good job by Karu Zixstorm. We'll see if the action does keep on going here. They want to get in onto Packrat here in this bottom side, but it's a nice knock-up to start. Doesn't matter, the damage is there. And Kaisermord takes a huge bite right out of Packrat, right out of the Nautilus, and says no chance coming through for this one. The Pantheon, well, he's feeling good about himself. He's large and in charge, and mostly, I think they're buying time for this lane swap. Hancha and Jimmy, though, have to be careful. Look, here's Zixstorm. Maybe it's him that has to be careful. There is no Ragnarok, so he does have to flash out effectively very fast. Does get out of that one. The blue buff still going to go right on over into the hands now of ASU. Wasted the time of the denial, wasted the flash. Really, that's just bad luck most of the time if you're the jungler. You're kind of not expecting the lane swap to be in full force or to be coming through the jungle that way. You know, it's a little bit risky, but there was, you know, ASU obviously didn't just have prior knowledge of the fact that, hey, he's probably invading our blue. Maybe they had a suspicion, but you could tell by the reaction time it was a little delayed. Speaking of reaction time, so we'll see if Kaisermord can stunt on this one. He just gets right on into Sausageberry, and this is a fight, keep in mind, that they wanted. They're just barely going to survive it, and it does take the flash, but Sausageberry, at the end of the day, able to pick up the second kill now for Stony Brook University. We'll see, though, if number 10 does come out very effectively right onto the hands of ASU, and it's Hansha picking that one up, feeling great about himself. The plates fall for the tower. That's what they're really interested in taking out here. They did bring 3 members to this one, so next time this wave gets a little bit close, I am suspecting that they're just going to blow this tower right on over. Yes, number 2 in the bag for ASU. And a 3K gold lead. We're even up now in Dragons, even though it's not exactly the same. The Mountain Drake going to be feeling pretty good for ASU anyway. The Siege is actually definitely a big part of their composition that they are going to feel like they want here. We're going to see, though, now maybe they've overstayed. This could be bad. The teleport's coming on in. Is it even necessary? Because they already have one. Hansha in some real trouble. Sausageberry trying to get this one through for himself. He teleported into this, but he's just going to die for it, baby. They're trying to find a little bit more out of that one. And they knew something we didn't, as Hansha going very low. He is shut down, but it goes over to the Nautilus. Adam W doing what he can to survive. Best Ramus, though, not going to go down as Michael Bacon untouched in that one. And the Vladimir sustain with the double buffs now. Well, he's coming online. Oh, goodness gracious. That's not what you want if you are ASU. Not the start they were looking for to this mid game. Had an incredibly great showing here in the early portion of things, but have now kind of given up some of those advantages that they had. Caitlyn was able to just sit, split push the bot lane out, take the tower, and then teleport on in to the fight. Did end up dying, Sausageberry, you know, but definitely had the foresight to realize, hey, this is going to be a much bigger fight than just these 2 pickoffs that we're trying to get here of Hansha, of Adam W maybe there in the top lane with him. All happened so fast, it just spun my head around. We'll see whether or not now they can keep that momentum going, because they're getting strong here. They're getting to the point where, oh my goodness, Jimmy taking it right away, says, not for you, baby. No chance for Sausageberry to pick that one up, so a little comical there on the play, but at the end of the day, it's effective. Hi, it's Jimmy picking that one up, saying exactly that as he comes in. Hey, you think you're getting a kill on the map, Slim? Nope. Hey, it's Jimmy. Get out of here. Now, though, without the Casio, the Rift Herald, a huge objective that they want to take out before this one does expire, before the Baron comes out and through. Alawi able to do some real damage to the front line to start this one out early. Rift Herald still proccing now onto the side of ASU, doing the damage there where it can. This is, meanwhile, the backline what's want to come in. That's the Pantheon. Are they split? Are they going to be able to do anything with the fact that they're split? The Rift Herald still not dead. Everyone's too afraid to burst it. Ragnarok is popped. They are going in for this one. It's going to be trying to come in with a little bit more now, but holy cow, that is one low Olaf. Adam W as well. The jungler probably not going to get out of this one as Sausageberry picks it up with the fadeaway. And I have to confess something to you, chat. I didn't even see who got the Rift Herald. Okay. So that's Karud Zixstorm, I believe, that got the rift there for himself. So, no, I'm sorry. Okay, Adam W. That's okay. Being told it's Adam W. Thank you, production, for covering me up there. Because, man, my head was just spun by that fight. It's like no one wanted it. Oh, that's dangerous, actually. Goodbye to Hansha. Michael Bacon just gets hit by a huge hook under tower. One that he really had, I think, very little business trying to defend. And now for the first time in the game, the gold has now swung back in the favor of Stony Brook University. They lost the Rift Herald, but they got a huge pick when it mattered and then turned it into yet another one under tower and a dragon for themselves here. They've evened the turrets up, and that's pre-Rift Herald pop. That's going to be maybe something that Adam W can try to get back on the board here with, but one outer tower apiece remaining for these guys. It's very low in the top lane for the side of ASU. Mid lane just a little bit healthier now coming out for the likes of Stony Brook University. This is their first time in the driver's seat. Very curious to see what they can do with that, as now everyone's just kind of resetting here on the map, just taking a deep breath. Okay, yeah, hey, look, that didn't go exactly how we wanted to, right? That's the communications going for ASU right now. They're probably saying, what could we have done differently there? How does this change the state of the game? Hey, don't worry about it. I'm still strong. Okay, yeah, but now Vladimir feeling pretty strong too. Sausageberry feeling pretty strong too. They have good answers for these champions on the side of ASU, but if Packrat is able to perform like he was in this last fight and hit the impactful dreadlines, that becomes very tricky. If Alawi as well can just deal the damage everywhere that she was able to on the front end of that fight, harassing down both, I think, the support and the jungler to about half HP, 2 substantial frontliners as we get a flash away from Packrat. That's actually going to feel pretty good taking that one off of him. Well, things do get a little bit trickier for ASU here. They're not daunted, though. They want to just keep this aggression up. They're going to pop the Rift Herald here, but that's going to be maybe the Engage coming in. Packrat wants to find it. That's going to be the Glacial Fissure coming down. Michael Bacon staying on where he can in the back line of things and does pick up, hey, it's Jimmy. Meanwhile, they're coming in very quickly now just to pick up Kaiser Mord on the Pantheon, trying to get into the fight, but right back out is what they wanted. And hey, they get the tower for it. They're going to feel good about that one for themselves. But just here, 20 minutes. Holy cow! Packrat, you're a madman. He just hits one massively onto Map Slim. They're going to trade way more damage back, though, onto the Nautilus. And almost, are they going to get it? Honcha, that's the Aphelios. That's the distance, baby. And you just have to respect that one. Now it's a swap apiece on the supports. But we already have Hi, It's Jimmy back up and in good position here. So you've heard me praising Packrat. You've heard me praising the degree to which he's aggressive. Now let's levy just a little bit of criticism back onto the head. We'll see if we get the time, actually. Kaiser Mord says, you don't get to make points, silly caster. You just have to cast what I'm doing. And that's flashing over the wall. I'm leaving. So thank you for wasting my time, Kaiser Mord. Good day, sir. Either way, resetting to that one. Packrat, I've been praising his aggressive playstyle. He's hit several very impactful hooks I think have unarguably changed the course of this game. And yet again, hang on, we'll get back to that. We got Alawi dying in the jungle. It's not that fun. It's not that crazy. She just got picked out. Okay. Long story short, I'll consolidate the point. Packrat, man alive. Good engages, but stop going so hard that you die 5 times is essentially just where we're trying to get with that. I have to be very concise with this point now because every time I try to make it, it's just a little bit more blood drawn. Comes with the territory of these two schools. They want to find the fights wherever they can. That seems to be, thus far, going in the direction, going to the benefit of ASU. They're feeling pretty good about their fighting potential. The objective play as well, just barely nudging in their favor. Yes, they lost first Drake, but they got Rift Herald number 1. Then they got Drake number 2, then Rift Herald number 2, but lost a couple of towers and a Drake off of it also. Very back and forth here, but just maintaining that slightest edge is ASU, the Sun Devils, at the end of the day. And about 100 gold lead to show for it. So, not as much as you would possibly want to see. Most of that just kind of being band-aided over by the fact that they have so many kills, so much aggression, and forcing just quite a few deaths onto the side of this Stony Brook roster. Now, the downside to that is they're getting out-farmed kind of massively, just about everywhere. There's a 35 CS deficit coming out now that Sausageberry has holding over Hansha. There's, as well, almost 40 CS to the tune of the mid laners separating them. You kind of expect that for the Pantheon. He has, some kills, but Vladimir's so much stronger right now, perhaps even strongest champion in the game. Going to be pretty close there with the likes of the Casio. But meanwhile, we got a little bit more fighting coming on in the mid lane. They want to find it. Wombo combos are coming down, and that's a huge Glacial Fissure, but it's only finding Packrat. That's going to be death number 6 for this guy. But meanwhile, Kaiser Mord able to stop a lot of damage on the front end, but take it on the back end, and that he does. Feeling it pretty aggressively here. So now Hi, It's Jimmy has to be the ability to retreat from this one like they want to, and that's what we were talking about in Champion Select. Hey, look, this is where ASU really should be picking and choosing their fights very well. I think they did a great job to get in on that one and get out once they knew, hey, we don't need to be pushing for more. Now, you only killed the Nautilus yet again. He's really not worth that much gold since he does have the 6 deaths to his name, but if it can buy you the dragon, well, that's going to be worthwhile. Map Slim maybe taking a little bit of a beating here, maybe not. They know, hey, we just want to get Best Rammus okay out of this one, no problem. So we are going to even it up with a Cloud Drake apiece. That's a great nullifier here, essentially. Hey, look, when everyone has a Cloud Drake, no one has a Cloud Drake, effectively, is the way that does translate here. So with Cloud number 3 lurking on the horizon, not Soul, sorry, just Cloud number 3 lurking on the horizon here. That will be, I think, a tipping point for the mobility of either of these squads. And speaking of mobility, trying to out-rotate is just a quick run-up immediately to Baron. The only thing they should have in their pocket by the time this is done is that there will not be an ADC here, but not if they just back off and buy the time. They're giving Caitlyn a lot of time to run in. They have to be respectful of this. They want Best Rammus, and they're gonna find him very quickly here. And meanwhile, Michael Bacon on the backline trying to keep Kaiser Mord and Hansha very low. He's gonna find Hansha, gonna find the support as well. Sausageberry cleaning house. And you're kidding me. SBU come in. Hey, say thanks a lot for starting that one up. Thanks for taking your health bars low. We are going to absolutely clean house on you. It's almost an ace, but Map Slim just barely survives. Maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy here, but that's going to be over the wall. Packrat goes in huge. That's the aggression that's been teeter-tottering all game long, but here it is for a Baron. Here it is for an ace. And here it is for SBU coming up just massively. Oh my goodness gracious. That is going to be, it feels bad for Arizona State, for the Sun Devils. SBU picking up the momentum there, and really on just what was a punish, a very ballsy overcommit, or I would say failed bluff, whatever the case was for the Sun Devils. They started that Baron. They did not finish with conviction. They ran there very quickly. They had a plan in mind, and then you could tell, hey, maybe they hesitated on it. Maybe they were just looking for a pick. Whatever the case, they did not have their tools at their disposal to really disengage that fight and reset it on their own terms. And the first time that SBU gets a big fight on their own terms, they come out massively. Yes, okay, we saw some picks earlier that SBU was able to turn into a little bit more. That is technically a fight on their terms, but just a full 5-on-5 scenario, exactly what SBU wanted to do, what they needed to do, and now a tower just separating now the inhibitor from the mid lane, the last line of defense before this inhib, and a very fresh Baron still on this siege-heavy composition. Well, meanwhile, we'll see if they can get this one out of here. That's going to be tough for Hades Jimmy just to feel the half health already taken down. Alawi, man, she punishes you when you're not even there. Got to feel pretty bad about that one. And just chipping away at this front line. I love this Alawi pick for what it's able to do for this team right now. Packrat still just throwing out those dredge lines with complete lack of fear. And just like that, the first inhibitor tower is down and out of the game. This Baron power play is absolutely insane right now for the likes of SBU. They're just going to take this first one, rotate to the top lane. They don't have their eyes on any Nexus turrets yet. Not with there's 5 alive. 25 minutes. Hey, still too early for that. We have the Baron. We have a wave pushing in the top side. Let's just go. Let's just prime this one out, clear the waves that are coming on through, and try to get just a little bit more edge here for the towers, because the gold swing, the CS really benefited them, really kept them on in, feeling great about this one. But now, 5k gold deficit. This is where it gets very tricky for the likes of ASU to try to defend here, because they were having trouble when they had the lead. Now, their base is absolutely getting blasted here. Their outer line of defense is going to be incredibly buffed out here now that SBU are coming in with just such strength, and this one not going to feel too good. I don't believe they're going to be able to take this tower out in its entirety, at least not on this next wave coming up either. There is some strong wave clear, keep in mind, for the side of ASU. They're not going to be giving everything just yet. They have the Braum to stop some of that damage coming in. They have, oh, hang on, not if they get caught, though. You cannot get that close, Map Slim. And now they want to turn it around. They're trying to get the fight on, and the health bars are not there for SBU, but they're falling very quickly as well on the side of Arizona State. Best Ramos okay, just barely staying alive. Adam W decides he has to get out of that one, but now here comes the Caitlyn and Zixstorm with the flash undertow just to take it at the end of the day. Salisbury very low as well, and what went from just a tower defense, an attempt to try to hold that one together, has now become perhaps the game if they can hold their health bars in high enough regard. Best Ramos okay has to be careful here. Hanja still very strong. Can he make the last stand and hold them off? I think he does it, but you can't get caught like that. What are you doing? There's no defense there. And just canceled at the edge. The Caitlyn ult does not make it at the way that they were trying to. I don't think it was canceled, actually, just deftly dodged around. But holy cow. That was, okay, didn't do enough damage. Sorry, Hanja, something spun my head there as well. This is all happening just so mercilessly fast here. And they're still upping kills on the side of Arizona State. It's still 18-17. It's the one place they have the advantage left on this game. I mean, it's just ridiculous that they still are up in that kill, that fight ability. That's what you get when you draft an Affiliates. That's what you get when you put so much priority on getting Map Slim ahead early. I mean, Adam W did a great job making sure that this Cassio would be a terror, but she hopped out to something like 4-0 or 4-1 incredibly early, and really has not made much impact in the game since. Meanwhile, Caitlyn just farming absolutely the right way back into this one as the final Cloud Drake does get taken off the board here. I'm sorry, no, it will still be one more, of course. I'm a little backwards on that one. But either way, one more Cloud Drake to go. It'll either be number 3 or the tie up coming out next, but something tells me that Stony Brook don't even want to wait to let it get that long. They have just the entire top side of the map going to be free pushing in. There's one tower left on the outer ring for the bot lane here. It's not even going to stand a chance. There's no point in trying to defend it here. They're not going to worry about that. They still have to leave Kaiser Mord trying to kind of clear some of these supers out because the base is now, has supers knocking on both lanes. One tower left remaining. They got all 5 members there. Alawi so strong at just taking out the front lines very early. Hey, it's rinse and repeat. Grab, hi, I'm Jimmy, do half his health, and then make sure that, he has to back off, cannot feel good for engage or disengage primarily, is I think where Braum has been the strongest thus far. Then get Packrat in. This strategy has been used 3-4 times now, and it's working beautifully because here comes Michael Bacon trying to get in on out of this one, but he's maybe bidding off just a little bit more than he can chew. Flashes out, but Hansha's got the kill. Can this be the turnaround? Can this be where they make their dig in? Because Karud Zixstorm has to pop the undertow just to get out of this one. They did get the towers. The inhibitor not down yet. Best Ramus okay, still doing what he can to try to keep this one moving in the right direction, but without Michael Bacon, it just gets so terrifying. There's the flash in. They want to find it. Kaiser Mord's getting in onto Zixstorm. That's going to be Mapslim getting in onto a Pack Rat. And now Best Ramus, can he try to turn this one? Can he make anything happen here? Or is he just going to go down mercilessly, leaving only Sausageberry, the last surviving member of the side of Stony Brook University? The Baron has just now respawned. The Death Timers, they're generous, but are they that generous? The pillar is going to be what they need. Sausageberry trying to take anyone he can with him, but it's just not going to happen. That's going to be the shutdown. That's going to be the ace coming through, and maybe a lifeline Baron being thrown to the likes of Arizona State. Shake it off, boys. Roll with the punches when they come. We've got some Baron throws coming back and forth in this game. I wouldn't really call that one a throw. ASU, I think, did an excellent job to hold their ranks there and to really punish the re-engage attempt that came out from Stony Brook. They're getting kind of a feel for this rhythm here. We're seeing the same fight over and over that's now been benefiting Stony Brook. You'll lead off with Best Ramus, just taking the support or the jungler down to half HP. They kind of get to the back line, freak out a little bit. Hey, what do I do? How do I do it? That's when Michael Bacon and Packrat make their move. Try to just jump immediately on the back line. Well, hey, it's worked pretty effectively thus far. They went just a little too hard for it this last time around. The rest of the team was not there to follow up and cause the chaos that they needed. Michael Bacon was subsequently able to be taken out. Then ASU, I think, regained their confidence pretty well off of that. They reset just to make sure, hey, you know what? We're not going to get ourselves into too much trouble here. Just take a little bit of time, pan this fight out the way we need it to, and then boom, go button. They had the Pantheon ult, they had the flash in from Mapslim, and they come out and absolutely eviscerate the remaining members, all except for Sausageberry, who, wasn't even in a position to do damage where he needed to throughout the back half of that fight. Did have to get, pretty well shoved out of that one thanks to Adam W, just keeping him on his toes, keeping him out and about. Worked very well. Feels like it may be kind of a, one in a million chance there to try to replicate it. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of 1 in a million, 1 in a billion, 1 in 10 trillion, I am joined by the one and only mythical Coco the Dragon, finally getting in onto this one. So, Coco, very glad to have you here.
Buddy. I have felt an excessive force of shenanigans in my Collegiate League of Legends. Corvus, thank you for being able to do such a great solo cast. But holy crap, what is going on with these two teams? Because like you said perfectly, like both ASU and SBU are doing something where like all they want to do is be as scrappy as possible, and they're doing it perfectly and trading it like back and forth. Like we just saw the throw over from SBU, getting ASU to have that advantage. And now you're sitting at a point with this 2,000 gold deficit. You're sitting at almost 60,000 for both of these teams. And that means you're getting to the point where you're going to get 6 items on like all the important players. You already see Cassiopeia about to hit her 5th. She's a little bit short on the draw, but everyone else is just in that situation where they are at max power potential. And for this final fight here for the Dragon, which will be coming up fairly shortly here, you just have to figure out where those specific carries are going to be. Look for her Sausageberry. Look for the boys. But there we go. Fight.
They want to get it. It's just been priming this one out. Hyatt's Jimmy very low already. Does he have anything? The wall is there. And the Caitlyn ultimate just absolutely shut down. No aces coming out this time around, but they've effectively shoved off the side of ASU. And SBU will have absolute priority around this third and final Cloud Drake.
With that final Cloud Drake, with the Dragon Soul now being taken here, it means that the Elder Drake will be up for contention. The game-ending objective for these two teams for just literally it's the first game too, right? Like I feel like this has been going on for hours, but it's just been 33 minutes into the game and now going to the point where both you see here Best Ramus okay on the Alawi trying to see if he can create some sort of threat on this bottom side and just a way to split up this team of ASU to create some chaos. Because if you think right now, who can 1v1 this Alawi on their own? You could argue for possibly Map Slim on Cassiopeia. Maybe, just maybe, because the Flash is coming up in just a little while. But you need at least 1 or 2 members there to answer it directly. And you have that power. You have this siege pushing potential to just take out whatever you want. But, you know, with the decided recall that just came in, it's looking for a reset to sort of amplify that plan and really push down and just choke out the members of ASU in this final pushback.
Man, choking out is exactly what they've done. They've stolen all the Cloud Drakes, all the air is theirs, and they are just sucking it right away from the side of Arizona State, just making sure that they are feeling this pressure, getting suffocated out at every turn. With the Baron power play that they were able to really, I think, just break the base wide open with Baron #1 that they found for themselves, they've really kept, I believe, ASU in a position of just not having their waves pushed out past the midpoint since that portion of the game. You know, ASU was very quick to take all 3 outer towers, not able to really get in on anything else since here. And now this inhibitor in the mid lane is the target of their focus, is what they want to find for SBU. But, well, you know, they do have to be careful, do have to give some priority to this one. And don't want to overextend because, like we said, if you let ASU pick the fights on their terms, they're going to win them very effectively. You have to just keep getting this front line low with Best Ramus. You have to make sure that Packrat can find the ideal hook. And it seems like ASU, well, they've wised up to this just a little bit. Now, I'm getting curious as to whether or not the side of Stony Brook really feel like they have an answer for if their ideal situation, their ideal engage doesn't pop off exactly the way they plan it.
Right? Like, if it doesn't go to plan, then there is so many recipes for absolute disaster for this team, and you don't want to be doing that going into, like, sure, it's just, like, just a show match at this point, but, you know, you got to flex somehow. You're SBU. I believe you're 11-0 right now, like, undefeated. Try and keep it as it is. Don't give as many losses over as possible. Don't show weakness. And as you mentioned, with the sense of, like, perfected execution for these engagements, you really only have like the Nautilus hook in with the ultimate. You can argue Alawi sure might be able to get a test of spirit and that forces ASU to engage, but everyone can sort of regen totally fine. Trundle will just sit next to a minion and just regenerate his health as he just did there, but the Baron is up now and the contestation will fight. This is the game-ending contestation.
Oh, absolutely. If ASU cannot pop off here, they absolutely lose. If SBU lose it, well, hey, we're not even going to go down that route. They're not going to lose it. They do pick this one up, but no blood drawn just yet, and just barely missing the Dredge line is Packrat. Can you find more off of this one? Now they just need to reset and try to get what they came for and come back, prime these waves out, finish the inhibitors. Baron like that, well, it should be the green light to just eventually try to close this game.
Yeah, very simple execution from here on out. It's just this question now is if that additional confidence boost of Baron will be enough for them to really make that all-in engagement. You have to say yes at this point, right? Like your entire team is stacked. The amount of damage that Vladimir is going to be able to pump out with the addition of Caitlyn and Alawi on these sort of very frontline focused fights, you have to give them the benefit of the doubt on that one. But like, if ASU is able to find some sort of weak point, some flex in the armor, if someone steps out just a little bit too far and gives their life away, then you have to reset all the way back for this Elder Dragon. And here we go, this is the flank.
Yeah, they want to get it. Can they get it in enough time? That's the Pantheon ult coming down as well. Health bars are already getting low, but Best Ramus has the shield, and meanwhile, that's going to be actually a huge shutdown onto both ADs. Hansha is out of this one. Best Ramus tried to stay alive, but he just can't do it, and meanwhile, it's all going to be coming up the side of Stony Brook. They're picking off the huge carries. It's Kaiser Mort, it's Map Slim. They're left to try to hold this one, but just like that, the Dredge line going to come in from downtown and seal Kaiser Mort's fate. He's trying to flash out, but he's not going to be able to do it as Michael Bacon does fall. Map Slim, the last remaining member. Can you do anything? Dredge line not connecting, but the minion damage alone is enough to make you think twice about running into that one. You don't have the HP. You can't go back and heal. You have to try something here, or you just save the record. But game number one, either way, going to be going over now. Finally, 38.5 minutes to the side of Stony Brook University.
And what felt like an hour game was just only 38 minutes. An amazing bloodbath back and forth between these two teams of ASU and SBU. And it's now at this stage where watching that fight, you know what you're in for. It's the show match of the
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
wanting more and more kills.
47 kills in
That's
38
insane.
minutes. Just bloodbath, the correct term here. Coming out, everybody dying multiple times. No one's hands were clean here in this game. And at the end of the day, yeah, it's still Arizona State finishing with more kills despite the loss. I think at the end of the day, the farm came through so overwhelmingly strong for the likes of Stony Brook University that they were able to just hold out kind of through the mid game when things weren't going their way, pivot, turn it around. And then once they took the lead finally, they didn't really do much to give it up. That Baron play was essentially the crippling, and they were able to just follow up. It took, 2 more Barons on the map, several Cloud Drakes as well to follow, but all is set and done. It is going to be Stony Brook coming away victorious in this game number 1, showing why they are the undefeated team, showing off a little bit of that grit that you need to be competitive at this level of collegiate esports. Well, with that, we're going to catch our breath. Take just a second to reset on this one. I'm sure the players are going to be doing the exact same thing. ASU, after such a strong showing, hey, back to the drawing board. What do we do? What do we change? Be surprised if we saw Pack Rat getting that Nautilus again, but yeah, who knows? Either way, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to throw it over to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have the draft for game number 2. Don't go anywhere. Well, thank you for sticking with us through the break, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just joining us, still Kyle Corvus Crow, still Coco the Dragon, now coming in for game number 2, ready to lock this one down. We have a side swap, SBU to the blue, and ASU taking on the red side of this map. Besides that, game number 1, man, whew, what a bloodbath.
Yeah, there's no other way to put it for that one, and it's just going to show. I'm expecting both of these teams to do just the exact same thing, and I really hope they do. Because if we're able to get 100 kills in the series, then that's a good Tuesday night spent. So let's do that. Come on, guys. Let's grab some really fun champions. I don't care if it's early. If you want to say, you know what, let's just scale to six, like, okay, not 60 minutes, but at least 25 and start really having fun with it, then go for it. But this is a place where, yeah, you're both guaranteed to get into the playoffs. This is the start of that kind of like stepping stone. So just have a little bit of that stress pushed off with a good, fun, and very brutal game.
I mean, seriously, that's yeah, and it's just an exhibition match from what I can tell. So I don't believe that this is actually going to go on anyone's collegiate records here, right? So you
Yeah.
can still talk about just being undefeated and all of that. I don't know if they've agreed to some weird conditions otherwise where no, this one really does count for record, but I don't believe that's the case. So
No.
either way, these two teams feeling pretty good about making this one happen, and obviously playing it live for us here is something that we do need to thank them for going out of their way to do on stream for all of us. You know, we see some collegiate teams that are like, hey, no, hey, get the stream away from us. We don't want to we don't want people seeing our stuff. You know, we keep it all very well hidden. These guys, they're putting it all out there on the Rift to take on one another just to give us at home a pretty good idea of who's where in the collegiate standings. I think very much for themselves as well. You know, it's not to say that they're not getting the benefit of scouting out another very good team, getting a little bit of information on them as well. But either way, obviously taking a part of their Tuesday night here to spend with us is something that we love at the CSL. We love that you guys love spending this time with us as well. And so, with that, looks like they're going to be just about dropping the
Just a
R's.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're yeah, here it comes.
Yeah, dropping with the ready chats right now, and you know, like I think that I think not just me, but I think as you said, as a whole for this stream tonight, just give a nice shout out to Stony Brook and Arizona State University's teams, and just say thank you. Thanks for putting on this game. Thanks for letting us have something to watch for our Tuesday nights. But into this second game, let's get a little bit more like thanky about it on how memey these teams are going to go. Are we going to be seeing some real off meta picks, or are you going to be seeing something a little bit more aggressive? Like we had the Alawi last time, not something you usually see in competitive, but it did a heck of a load of work. And maybe it's something where these teams are actually trying to experiment with those kind of off meta picks and see if they can figure out something that might be able to have as a pocket pick later on, possibly into it. Because, you know, even though it is fun in games, you might discover something that's really good in these kind of games. Like for me, I figured out Swain Bot is really good actually. Patch him up with like a Leona, throw him in with a Zyra. Swain Bot, top tier. Don't grind it in solo queue because that's mine.
Okay. Well, you've heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Coco, the patenting dragon,
Yep.
has added that to his pile of treasures that he sits upon and very much dragon-like guards. So you don't get to do that. We do have the
Yeah.
draft coming up, by the way, here. Now that you'd like to see it, so the Aphelios taken off early from SBU. They don't want to see that one again. So even though they did eventually find the time and the ability to outscale it, they say, hey, you know what, that one just going to be taken off the table. Meanwhile, the Alawi taken off by the likes of ASU. They don't want to see that one coming out for SBU. I mean, that was just an absolute mammoth pick towards the end of the game coming out of Best Ramos. Okay, he was absolutely dominant on it. Just make sure he can't pick that one up on and through. And so, while you did have the Mordekaiser
Nice.
first ban from ASU last time, sorry, from Stony Brook last
Yeah.
time, ASU now going to be feeling pretty great to just pick that one up for themselves instantaneously. It's what they did give up banning for the likes of the Aphelios. They said, hey, maybe that's a little bit more important. Well, now you got to deal with Mordecai. So they do pick up the Irelia for SBU to try to deal with this one. So very curious to see where that's going to leave us.
Yeah, and you know, at this point, like part of me is thinking, are they just gonna straight pick top to bottom and just grab the junglers? But the thresh pick that just got grabbed tells me, nope, that's not going to be the case. You're going to be playing something where both of these teams are actually rolling with that flex pick, right? Like Mordecai and Zarelli can both be going mid if they want, and then you're going to be picking either your bottom lane here or grabbing that priority of the bottom side and then a jungler for safety. So right here for SBU, I'm thinking, heck, you could throw a Zyra Khan if you really wanted to get
Ooh.
into like an aggressive lane. Nautilus and then possibly Senna if you wanted to run that in as well. Or if you want to get real cheeky, we want the Nautilus Dravens. Nautilus, like, who else would be really, really, really good for this?
Just super punishing. Yeah. So,
I'm getting, oh, Kled, you know what? That's all right. But that's like, it shows you that it's more of a show match. They're not trying to hide anything.
sure.
It's more of just what's coming to mind. Like Nautilus is that security. And then with Kled, it's like, all right, I could argue Kled mid is a possibility. I could argue that Kled jungle is also a possibility. But I just want to get those ideas into SBU's heads so we possibly see that coming into this game. Get some big brain strats going on.
That's the inception right there. We're just spinning that little top right
Yep.
in the minds of SBU. We know they're listening. Every collegiate team's always listening during the
Ooh.
stream, right? And hello, beautiful Vayne coming in to pair with the Thresh. ASU, I think they looked at last composition and said, you know what? There's just not enough kill potential here, right? It's a kill focused game. Well, no, not enough. So let's get Mordekaiser, let's get Thresh Vayne, and let's just make the lives of SBU a living hell wherever we can.
Yep. Oh man, I'm gonna be really interested to see how well they play this. If they're actually gonna try and say, you know what, ASU for the side, Hansha and Hi Jimmy, like run this just straight into the face of Nautilus, and just naturally the Silver Bolts will win those trades as long
Mhm.
as you have Thresh not taking too many hits. And of course, like the problem is Vayne is fairly squishy. Her laning phase with the short range is absolutely obnoxious to deal with in any situation. So you're seeing that through their bans. They're getting Caitlyn out of the way. I wouldn't be surprised if they did take that Olaf out
Hmm.
just to like make sure that that laning is totally negated at both of the level 6 power spike when Olaf really wants to get that going. Or, you know, at this stage, I'm thinking with that ban for SBU, try and see if you can also do the same. Like take one more jungler off the board and just make sure that you have that comfort in all of these solo lanes that you grab, like Kled, Aurelia. Make sure you have that safety. Cassiopeia, otherwise, that's fine, just probably because of how well not Michael Bacon, Map Slip actually was able to run with it. So, like, you know, just grab that up. And Jarvan, being that first pick, does show that they still have that priority. Lee Sin and Gragas are still on the board as well as Rek'Sai. So all of those nice junglers are still up for grabs and possibly see if they want to keep on the tradition of current meta picks.
ASU, I mean, these guys are doing literally everything they can thus far to try to like reconstruct an octagon in League of Legends that they're
Yeah.
just going to fight in, right? You've got Jarvan's, the Cataclysm. Okay, we're going to fight in this. You've got the Thresh box. Yes, you're trapped in here with me as well. Mordekaiser, just the new ultimate, right? All of it just to say, hey, we're spending quite a lot of level sixes here trying to make sure that we have you exactly where we want to in a very confined space. Pick a Vigar. Like just throw Vigar mid. Man,
Yeah, I was thinking Veigar. That would have been great.
just round it out, baby.
That, you throw in maybe a Nivea, like just for the heck of it. And now, like now that everyone's in that center, or like there's so many options for that, like AoE wombo combos. It's so much fun to deal with. But the problem for me is that that might be counterintuitive for like Vayne, maybe, because like Vayne
Sure.
can have some trouble, but with the Jarvan Cataclysm, there is that small
Oh,
synergy of if you get that Cataclysm onto someone and then she ease onto them, then they can just get pinned down on that wall, which is really nice. But the Rumble actually, you know, not as big AoE as Anivia is in a circle, but straight lines and a lot of damage is still in the wheelhouse for our Yordle on the mech. And running into that, it does say that all four of these solo lanes, like Kled is probably going to be going jungle. Aurelia and Vlad can go any which way they want, and so can Rumble and Mordekaiser. They can choose whichever lane they so choose, and it can flip back and forth whenever they want. And into this bottom line, or bottom lane as it is, it's going to be really interesting to see how well ASU is going to be able to execute this potential kill lane of Vayne and Thresh.
I mean, seriously, the Vayne, the Thresh just wants to get. I think they felt like, hey, we got Aphelios feeling pretty good towards the mid game last time around, but the early game was where we were strong. The early game is
Yeah.
really where we were able to muscle them out. So let's just prevent Pack Rat and Sausageberry from ever being able to farm themselves back into the game by doing hashtag just
Mm,
Vayne things, right?
just
And
Vayne things, true.
Hyatt's Jimmy going to feel pretty good just, taking something a little bit, I would say, kind of more versatile in that supporting role, just being able to aggress or defend with the Thresh to the ability
True.
that he wants. That play is still just one of the most versatile skills in all of League of Legends. Thresh's kit, kind of just keeping him in the support discussion at all times. There's been times when his numbers aren't as good,
Yeah.
but his kit has pretty much always just been right there in the support discussion as something you could always fall back on. So with that, Adam W, the Jarvan, picking that one in. I'm watching it all come down
Yeah,
in the actual
like for
client.
me, I also
Is
had like the thought in the back of my mind that Kled and Nautilus could have actually gone bot too. And like when you hit level 3, you just destroy people with the amount of burst damage that you have. Even level 2, like if you get level 2 and then you get Savage Strikes on Kled, you can just really smack people down with the assistance of Knots lockdown. But it's going to be Aurelia bot lane. We've already seen now here with like the champion selects going full through and through. For us, for the viewers who can't see, it is going to be Vladimir mid and Kled top actually, and they're going to be throwing Aurelia into the bot lane with Kindred in the jungle. Like, yes, Kindred's really good with that sort of roaming capability and clears really fast. I just wanted to see Kled jungle. I just wanted to see if it was going to do really good, but I know it doesn't. Like, you have to get the Tiamat super fast, and that's just a super big power trough. But at this stage, now everything else outside of that Aurelia is going to be very, very like predictable to a sense, right? Like you
sure.
expect, okay, Vlad is just going to negate Rumble in that mid lane. He's going to actually allow Rumble to possibly look for some roaming potential with his buddy on Adam W and the Jarvan. And then on the top side, you're going to be really wanting to get those ganks online, get Mordekaiser fed, get Kled online before he's really able to get outscaled. And so a lot of that jungle attention is going to be on that top end. But the big question mark is still Sasha's and Packrat on this Aurelia Nautilus combo.
Oh yeah.
It can hurt, it can slap, but the problem is like you still have Vayne Tumble. So if you're not extremely quick on the draw, you won't be able to line up that CC as effectively. So I want to see how well Thresh and Vayne are able to actually interact with them, because I've got trust in Jimmy and Hansha on being able to interact properly with that matchup.
Very effective laners, the two of these guys. Yeah, and Hansha looking quite strong throughout the remainder of the last game, even when things did start to, I would say, decidedly fall apart for
True.
ASU's B team here. You did mention, yeah, hey, we would have loved to see the Kled jungle. I think that may have been in the minds of SBU before they kind of looked at the composition and just what was brewing here and said, hey, you know what? Let's just get a Kindred so that when we do eventually get put into like 14 stupid boxes and, places that we have to navigate around, we just slap that down and say, okay, yeah, but it doesn't really count, right? That's what
Yeah.
they're hoping to find for themselves here. That's what the Kindred pick is all about, and why it did come in quite late into the game. But speaking of into the game, we're 3 minutes from that point right now, ladies and gentlemen. Do have our lovely spectator delay just to keep things fair and honest. We know that players would never do anything to abuse that, but now they don't get the chance to, just in case. So that means we are going to be ticking on through this one. Going to be throwing it over to a quick break. Of course, do want to shout out our wonderful sponsors, HyperX and GameStop, for everything they do to keep the CSL up and running. Thanks again to SBU and ASU for being here. And thanks again to all of you for watching us here tonight and enjoying collegiate esports with us. We'll be right back after 3 minutes. We're coming in with game number 2.
be someone else. All we want is please. Giving no time to breathe. This is our identity.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sticking with us through the break here. We have a side swap for game number 2. ASU onto the red side, trying to claw back into this series. SBU going in for the kill on the blue side here. They've picked up some aggressive compositions, to say the least, for both of these schools. They know, hey, it doesn't really affect your record at the end of the day. It's all about the pride. So SBU maybe feeling themselves a little bit with this composition, I would say, and especially just what they were giving over quite freely to the side of ASU. And I talked early game last time about how we don't see a ton of invades at this level of collegiate play. It's usually a little below or a little above, but meanwhile, they want to get in on this one quite early. The Nautilus, they know they have it, not going to find anything. No worries.
Yeah, and you know, at this stage, like, it just feeds into how SBU drafted. Every single one of the champions just wants to get ahead and like at least 1,000 gold in front of like ASU's team, because like if you're taking this 100% seriously and you're saying, all right, who has the actual better conditions for winning, it's all in favor of ASU. Yes, it's like, okay, maybe because it's more traditional, but the reason why is because of the late game scaling that they have on the top and bottom side with Hansha and Kaiser Mord. You have that mid game powerhouse of Adam W and Mapslip, who can roam around and just sort of create some zone control. But you have that in like awkward states as well for the same side of SBU. You have that zone control coming in from Michael Bacon's Vladimir. He can create some kind of awkward pressure, but it's things that you have to play perfectly. And it goes with the same with Zixstorm on Kindred. You can sneak those objectives here and there very quickly, especially with how Kindred's sustainability is in the jungle, but it has to be perfect. If they smell you out, you're in some deep trouble.
Deep trouble indeed. The issue that both teams, I think, looking to avoid here, and maybe just a little bit more of a chip on the shoulder coming out now for the likes of Stony Brook University. Curious to see, I think two just a tad bit more, I would say, impactful junglers coming out. The Trundle on the side of Adam W was great, and the Pillars used, I think, to massive success, but J4 Flag and Drag just a little bit more in your face the way he is wont to be. Now, the Kindred, probably not the ideal choice coming out for Karud Zixstorm. Obviously, he would probably prefer, I don't know, Kha'Zix. Karud Zixstorm might prefer that champion. Banned against him both games, right? No,
even then, right? Like, it's something where the Kindred, it provides that objective control pressure that I discussed about earlier, but it's also the fact that like you have this team fight sustainability or these skirmish capabilities, right? Like Lamb's Respite, you were talking about in the pick and ban, like there's so many zones that ASU wants to fight in. They have the cage, they have the box, they have the cataclysm, like all of these areas. And if you put Lamb's Respite in it, then your team just gets to survive to where you can actually pop off and have some additional damage. So it's a little bit more versatile for the team perspective. But yeah, if he's like a one trick Kha'Zix that's able to just slap anyone he walks into, that trade I still think is pretty darn worth it, with the fact that you have a new tool in your kit for all of these bruisers that you have lined up.
Jungle playing utility, it's very rarely the choice of every jungler. At least my experience, my solo queue games, never played on a great collegiate League of Legends team. Would love to someday. Either way, jungle tends to be when the utility focus is on. It's, I think, very well performed by a lot of these collegiate players here. So curious to see in the meantime kind of what he can do to help his lanes out, because obviously all of these lanes on the side of Arizona State are going to be very focused on getting ahead early, maintaining that lead, and just squeezing the life out of you. And pre-level 6, for a Kindred that effectively needs to be everywhere, that becomes somewhat of a tall order. So I think the good things to focus on, you do have the bot lane off to a great start here, right? The
Yep.
CS jump out quite early for Sausageberry, feeling pretty good there. The top lane, well, you know that Kled's going to have that advantage early over Kaiser Mord, and the longer that lane goes, kind of the more later in the game it does tip back to Kaiser Mord's favor in that capacity. And then Michael Bacon as well, the ticking time bomb. So if your laners can just survive like this is actually just great. Yeah, you hard farm as the Kindred, and you don't worry about anything. So I really expect to see a little bit more pressure with all that in mind coming out of Adam W, coming out of the side of ASU.
Yeah, like you're looking at those lanes that we were just interacting with one another. Best Rammus did pretty decent amount of damage onto Kaiser Mord, so I actually would bring some attention up onto Zixstorm here. See if you can throw on your blessing with the passive and just sort of threaten that, hey, I might be in the area, I might come in for a possible kill, and just sort of make him sit back by his turret. But he actually decides and catches out Zixstorm there with the vision, which means that you have the go button here on the spot side.
Ooh, Hancha, it's who they want to get. The flay's right in its face, and it's a nice way to try to stop him with the flash hook, but it's just not enough. The first blood does come out, and now Hyatt's Jimmy. Well, he thinks he's got the damage for this one. He wants to stick around, and you know where other people may have tried to back off just a little bit in this one, he's actually going to force a flash just now. Does eke out of that one all in one piece, but you cannot say the same for Hancha on this vein, and a huge kill coming up for Sausageberry.
Yeah, and this was the part of the obnoxious laning phase that Hansha will have to deal with on Vayne is, yes, you may be able to get decent trades here and there, but you are just so squishy to deal with, and with the powerhouse that Sausageberry and Packrat have, that base damage just will absolutely tear you apart, no problem, no questions asked. Kaiser Moore here struggling to keep himself up and ready for this trade between him and Kled, but Adam W is there, forces the flash as well, and that, to me, now signals that with Mapslip here on this top side, did just send out for that ward, knows that Best Rammus is going to be recalled. I would start to possibly migrate some of that vision into the bottom side. Say, okay, let's play it safe on Kaiser Mord. You have summoners available. Let's make sure that Zixstorm, who has the potential to take these objectives on her own with Kindred, make sure that they don't have that possibility. Get that vision, make sure Adam W's there hanging around, and be able to collapse at any moment in time. Because right now, with a 4 versus 4, even though you did lose that fight on that bottom side and Hunter did die, if you're able to get that Vayne to level 6, that can turn around very quickly with the final.
Well, yeah, just a matter of time. You will get that Vayne to level 6 at some point, right? It's just not giving up too much more before it does happen here. Now, Kaiser Moore trying to be aggressive here in the top lane, not exactly feeling it to the degree he wants. Meanwhile, bot lane looks like it might be cooking up some ganks here. Looks like it might be cooking up just a lot of presence. Now, he's going to be on a ward, Adam W. He'll clear it. Say no huge worries there. That's some good defensive vision being used now by the side of Stony Brook here, but now the aggro, that's what they want. And there's the downtown hook from Packrat. He's been huge on those thus far. Lantern, it's got him just a little bit split, and there's no Thresh to peel for you under tower there. It means Karu Zixstorm coming up huge, and we'll just barely live at the edge of that one as well. A nice kill picked up for the Kindred.
Oh, that is so unfortunate for Hancha. Exactly when Jimmy was able to just walk away for a little bit, they weren't able to smell Kindred out. But hold on, Death Realm in this top side.
Ooh, wants to find it, but yeah, maybe just feeling just a little bit too heavy there. Hey, you know what? Got to back that one off. Sorry, guys.
Oh, bot lane. Hold on.
Yeah, the fun continues here. Bot lane, it's a level 4 Thresh getting dove on by a level 6 Irelia and Nautilus. What can you do? Adam W, do you want this? Sausageberry, he's not going to be denied anywhere. He's going to try to turn around, try to get the kill on the Packrat, but that's actually going to be just given over to Hancha in a huge turnaround. God help him. You just gave the Vayne a double kill. Can't do that, baby.
Yeah, nope, you don't want that at all. You were doing so well, doing so perfect for that starting of the game. You had those kills onto Sausageberry's Aurelia. You were doing great, and then you got overzealous. You got greedy. You were like, let's go for more than just pride on this. Let's go for demoralization on Hunch's Vayne. And you just get bit back immediately. Now there's priority on the bottom side for Adam W to take this Cloud Drake. And sure, it's just a Cloud Drake. The first two dragons don't really mean much, but now there is the possibility for ASU to, you know, look for this top side rotation. Because at this point, if I think of Sausageberry and Packrat, you need to set them up to where they don't take any turret plates, and then you can send Hancha and Jimmy up to that top end to prioritize onto that Rift Herald.
Priorities indeed. Something we saw very, very much given over to the side ASU early last time around those Rift Heralds. They actually ended up getting both of them. The first one taken completely free. The second one, amid a bit of a skirmish scrubble that Adam W was able to take out for himself there. This time, just buying just a little more time on this one. They got the Cloud Drake. First Drake, something they were not able to pick up last time around. Going to feel nice and speedy with that one and make sure that, with the Mountain Drake coming up, we're either going to be seeing the Ocean Rift, hopefully, or potentially the Infernal Rift as well. I think for the way that these two teams are wanting to play that, I think everyone's got their fingers crossed for that Infernal Rift, right? Hey, just give us the damage, give us the soul of the fire, and let's just get right to it at the end of the day. We'll see if it even runs that long because, well, they want to run at each other here in this top side. Kaisermore taking a little early, but Jimmy wants to get in onto Rammus. Okay, it's going to be a nice play backwards, and does they have anything left to get him over this wall? Nothing there for best Rammus. Kaisermore picked up that one for himself at the end of the day, and that's a point for the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, and now here with the top side of Hansha and Jimmy here for this rotation, they have all 5 members up. Kaisermord is going to recall and permanently move down to that bottom lane to see if he can stop any more plays from being taken. They only took 1 of those turret plates, but they had already taken 3 as well in total on that bottom side just from the previous pressure that they had. So now I'm expecting Adam W dropping down this Herald here, seeing if they can actually take down this turret. But there is teleport and charge available for Colette. He's going to force it now. Did not pop the Rift Herald just yet, so he baited it out with that call, and they can still have the tool to possibly look for plates elsewhere on the map, while Zeke Storm is just providing pressure. Hold on, teleport here on top side coming in.
Yeah, they're trying to get in with the flank behind him. Here comes the nice combo to get in on the best Rammus. Okay, he's absolutely destroyed with the flag and drag. And now Karud Zixstorm trying to do what he can to stay alive in this one. Sasberry, though, he's the one with the damage thresh. Can you get the kill there at all? It's a great play, but it's not enough to save his own life. Can it save Adam W? No, but it will save Hansha in just enough time to lock down the double kill for Map Slim coming in to clean up.
Oh my goodness, that was so close there. So close from SBU being able to take that W, but Hansha was just out of reach. They were able to grab a 2 for 2 though. But like at that point, it's nothing nothing too much gained or lost for either of these teams. Is now Kaisermore seeing if he can get some turret plates for himself and just regain some control on his own sides wherever he may be. What the heck was that hook? Is that really in range?
Ladies and gentlemen, are we going to see it right in under the tower? And he survives it all at the end of the day. Packrat is a madman.
No, that's just Nautilus Hook being ridiculous. What was that range? What the heck is that? Oh my gosh.
Boy.
I saw those changes on Twitter. I saw those possibilities of making Nautilus Hook better than it is, but that's just unreal right there. That is too high of expectations for support hooks. But at this stage now, let's reset. Look at these teams. Oh wow, look, 3 members here on the bottom side for SBU. They're getting their timers ready for Dragon. They're going to take the Rift Scuttle for themselves and see if they can get some more vision to find those picks as much as possible. If you're coming into a question of mid game, what should we expect from SBU? Just look at Sausageberry. Look at where he is. There's going to be kills there no matter what. Whether he's dying or someone else is, he is the center of attention for this second game of the series. And, more passes given, but Rammus okay walking straight into a more.
Yep, can't just assume that you have that one clear, but what a dirty flash to get out of that one right over the wall as well in one piece. Now, you hate to have to burn it, but you love the way he earned it.
Yeah. And, at that point, just deal with it. Go back, recall. You didn't lose any deaths. You sure lost the summoner, but charge is going to be ready and available for you on this Dragon Call. And now on that top side, Michael Bacon doesn't have teleport, but does have pushing priority to see if he can just push it out, see if it can bounce a little bit, and then swing down in time for this Dragon. He has all his tools available. He does have Ignite, no Flash, but with the Phase Rush, he can get right into the thick of the fight at any moment's notice.
That is the end goal here, is fight for both of these teams. Each feels like a very strong fight, but the objective play just a little bit more measured thus far coming out of the side of ASU. Not measured, however, is how many Nautilus hooks have just come in right from downtown and ruined a member of ASU's day. Well, that's at least one more on the board here, we can tell for ourselves. And yeah, 5 members, Map Slim caught out all alone. That's going to be an unavoidable death.
Wow, what the heck was that hook? These hooks are insane here from Packrat. He's able to find these picks, gives his team the priority for this Dragon, is going to be taking it no problem. Was able to take Rift Herald down there as well, only losing a single turret with those plates on top of it. But now with that Mountain Drake, we are going to be having a Infernal map, just what the Corvus asked for. And with this point, both these teams have the priority of being able to get massive amounts of damage increase, and it's really going to be speaking in favor of SBU here, who still is able to hold on to the priority, converting into this mid lane after that wonderful pick that Packrat was able to get.
Wonderful indeed. Yeah, Packrat just completely unstoppable thus far on this Nautilus. He had something like 7 deaths in the last game, and it's just because he was pressing that go button any and every time he got the opportunity to do so. Feeling very good about all of his chances to perform, I think, very, very nicely there. So moving on through this one, curious to see, as things do get just a little bit more defensive, who he's going to be able to continue to target on. Because obviously, you want to kill Hancho. You want to kill the Vayne, right?
Yep.
You're Nautilus. You can do that. At a certain point, you just pop your ultimate, and then boom, you go after it.
Yeah. Like, and another point what's great is that during this whole entire time, you have Hantra, who's around 40 CS down that of Sausageberry, and that's a melee matchup in the bottom lane. That is how oppressive Sausage and Packrat were able to be on Jimmy, and it's just unfortunate for him because now you're sitting at around 600, 700 gold down. Sure, it's not bad at this moment, but when you're looking at the pockets of Sausage, you have 800 gold in there. You are pretty much close to being online with your Triforce. So if you grab that one up, there's no telling what would happen in the next fight if you don't have items ready when a Trinity Force on an Aurelia is on the table of SBU.
Oh man, yeah, just gets absolutely destructive there. And already, you know, this Irelia performing quite well without the Trinity Force, right?
Yeah.
Leading the game in farm substantially compared to anyone else. I mean, something like 40 over just the next closest opponent, but MapSlim having an ult on himself just to try to stay alive in this one. But Kyrud Zixstorm is already there. The pinch, though, not done yet. As Kaiser Mord and Adam W are here now trying to make something happen. Well, wants to get in on the Bacon, but Packrat, meanwhile, just trying to buy some time. He will die for this one. Hancho picking up a much-needed kill onto this one. Michael Bacon not getting out of that one. Kaiser Mord picks that up for himself. And finally getting something back in the favor for themselves here is Arizona State University. We'll see if they can take a tower from this. We'll see if they can take any other latent objectives on the map here. The Rift Herald, something else they're eyeballing, but the fight may continue here. Yeah, here comes Charge. The play is there, and that's going to be a huge cataclysm, but as Adam W bit off more than he can chew, looks just like it. Look at that. They have to pop that one onto Jimmy. He's just trying to stay alive. Sausageberry is a madman, and he will not be denied onto this one. Zixstorm picks up Jimmy. Ramus okay. He's getting beat up on by Hancha, but Hancha needs to be with the rest of the team for the fight. Sausageberry so low and still not dying. Are you kidding me? Rift Herald, he's just having a good time here in the meanwhile, just, you know, doing what he can. Says, I started this. I'm helping too, guys. Zixstorm finally goes down. Rift Herald resetting. Can't get it off the rip on this one. And Sausageberry gets away. Packrat's here. I don't think we're done yet, Coco.
No, we're not done yet. Packrat's still around the corner. You do have the teleport that was just used from Best Ramus okay on the Kled. So this is still a fight for Cheryl Dean. And
Sausageberry. Finally gets it. That's another one coming through. You're kidding me. Michael Bacon, though. Can he do the cleanup through? Can Kaiser Mord get out of this one alive, or is it all going to be the Hancha show? Low on mana, but high on damage, baby. And that's what he's trying to do. Doesn't matter. Walks too far back in. Now Mapslim's going to go down. Best Ramus going after Kaiser Mord.
Jimmy.
The lantern's there. Jimmy. Take it out of this one. Do you survive? The threshold is there. More blood. The respawns are coming through. Adam W is back, baby. And Hyatt's Jimmy gets a kill. Michael Bacon, just run. Please, for the love of God, give my voice a break and get the hell out of here.
Oh my goodness, was that about 90 seconds of just pure shenanigans between these two teams? What the heck are you guys doing? Just get off the objective. Like, take the losses as it is. Take the short L in the long game. It's just a battle. It's not the war for this, Herald. It's still up for but they just kept going for it. And you got to give credits for Hancha, who's able to stay in the backline for so long. Stayed out, like, I'd have to say, I think he stayed alive for the longest amount of time outside of Kaiser Mord, who just could not die for some reason. And when you're sitting at this, like, you're sitting at that fight, you're trying to get to Hancha. Hancha's like trying to kill Ramus, okay, who dived onto him. Ramus is kiting the Vayne. Vayne's kiting the Aurelia, and now we're back into another fight. Oh no.
Yes, we most certainly are on that one, as Packrat going to be picked up very early. Adam W there to try to get that one moving through. And Sausageberry, I think the bigger ticket death there, going 4, 4, and 4. And being a huge flag to take this dragon immediately Infernal #1, I don't see them being able to contest this otherwise.
No, I don't think so. Well, they do have Ziggstorm. You do have Smite Congestion. You could possibly steal it. You just need vision on it. That's all you need.
Oh, man, yeah, they want to try to get in. Best Rammus is here as well, but going to be taken out pretty cleanly, and I think, you know, most members of the side of SBU just thinking twice about this one. Rift Herald being pinged, it's only here for a couple more seconds. I don't think anyone's going to try to take that, especially not after what happened last time.
Well, no, I think they actually might try and contest it here because, you know, it is going to be 30 seconds or so till it'll evaporate. But you have the damage of Ziggstorm and Rammus on the Kled to just be able to burst it down. And you have the attack speed to like constantly bring the eye up and lower it. So you're able to get that. And ASU was like, you know what, we learned our lesson. We're going to fight it again. But Map Slim gets caught out.
Oh yeah, Sausageberry. Ooh, says yeah. You may pick me off to start this one, but I'm with Packrat. Right, this is the guy. Yep. 4 deaths doesn't matter because all the blood he's earning back from those hooks going in is paying off in spades for the likes of the pickups onto Sausageberry, onto the Kled and the Kindred as well here. Now with the Rift Herald being summoned up, they did just eke it out in time. That's going to be a Thresh Hook under tower, but what does Packrat care, right? He would have hooked in on that himself if he thought it would get him the time, but now Kaisermore throwing it down now, trying to get Packrat. There's no escape onto this one. You just die. He knows it. Hits that S key, says, well, you know, we'll go back to the base on the Great Train. Meanwhile, buying time for the top lane is the Vladimir trying to push things out and away. Maybe take 2 towers out of this one. I think they'll trade a kill for that one any day.
Yeah, that's totally fine in that one. And now you have mid lane priority. You could possibly get this turret as well and just trade that turret back and bring the score back to 3 for 3. And at this stage, like, before that Rift Herald fight, like, Packrat was 0-1-5. Now he's 0-5-5. That's how much ASU has been able to swing back after that cluster of a mess that was that team fight in that top side. And getting onto that Infernal Herald, or Infernal Dragon now, after the Herald combat, you get to this point where vision is now in your favor. You have the potential to pick people wherever you want. You have Gwynslow's Rageblade on Hansha. You need some defensive items for her, maybe a Mercurial Scimitar as well, just to like provide that extra stability because of all of the picking tools that the side of SBU has to get onto you. And at this stage, just continue on that. Like, continue ramping up on Hansha and watch Kaisermord in these fights. Like, we just saw that last gank that he did into that mid lane to sort of get that mid priority back into his team's favor, and he's going to be split pushing, gets TP priority in about 30 seconds, and they'll have that in their back pocket to look for these picks, to look for these vision catches here against this Baron.
Speaking of catches, hi, it's Jimmy. Ooh, caught out just a little bit there, flashes over the wall. The play is there as well, but can he buy time for the rest of the team, or is he just going to go down here very early on? Yeah, Hansha and Adam W weren't willing to come back around for that one. Kaisermord, I think the teleport just now came off cooldown, so wasn't able to use it for that one. They said, hey, let's just give up the Thresh here. It's 20 seconds on the death timer. The flash, hey, sucks to lose it, but we do now, about 20 remaining once that Baron started. Now the teleport's up. Now they want to try to come in and stop this one out there. Adam W getting a huge knockup, huge Cataclysm. Can you get more off of this one? The Rumble is there to try to make things happen, but Adam W is going to be the one going very low. Kindred ultimate pops, so no one's dying just yet, but that's a shutdown. Hansha goes down. Adam W goes down. This is just huge coming up now. Best Ram is buying time on a Kaisermord, but it is all the Sausageberry show. And meanwhile, Kaisermord may get one here, but he will go down himself at the end of the day, and the Irelia is healthy. The Baron won't be too much longer.
Oh my goodness, I'm thinking what Kaisermord's thought in that fight was he was going to try and Death Realm Kindred and get her out of the fight as fast as possible, but the respite came down before he got the chance, and that just allowed for that damage to ramp up and amplify for the side of SB. Able to take that fight just by the hairs on their chins for that one, and now with the advantage, it's just those micro-mechanical plays that they're able to get the upper hand against ASU for. And now with this Baron buff, they can do what their team wants to. 1-3-1, have the split push of Sausageberry with this teleport, have Best Rammus okay on a side lane as well, and just put Michael Bacon, Ziggstorm, and Packrat in this center focus, and make sure that you are able to catch them in rotations, catch Hansha out whenever he tries to overstep and look for those defenses. And same for Mapslim as well. I don't even think Mapslim could even contest Sausageberry right here. Like, the damage he'll do is just insane, but he knows the rest of ASU is coming up to help him out. But oh, there's the ultimate, forces the fight for it.
Yeah, Equalizer just to slow him down a little bit, do some nice damage to it. That's going to be finally picked up by Hansha there. And we knew we'd be seeing some blood when we saw the Irelia pick up and finally get locked in there. Once Michael Bacon took that Vladimir to the mid lane, we saw Best Rammus take the Kled to the top. We said, okay, that's going to be the Irelia bot lane. We know it's going to draw with it a heavy blood toll. We have seen just that now as these teams are getting ready to posture for this Drake to come up. It's going to be the second Infernal, a huge takeaway that both would enjoy. But with Sausageberry down, you have to feel like the priority is in the hands of ASU. The teleport, though, certainly going to be coming in 10 seconds from now. Can they burst it in time? Can they make sure that there's not a factor even for the fight to begin? Because now 3, 2, 1, that's the go button. They want to come in. They know that the Irelia is going to be here. And blue team stole it, baby. That's going to be coming in huge. Packrat already taken out of the fight, but it's just Packrat. Meanwhile, Mapslim going to be absolutely devastated. How many more can you get? The double kill. More to come from it as Zixstorm just staying alive. Kaisermord, again, the only one there, and it's just not impactful in these fights.
That was ridiculous, that amount of damage that came out between Bacon and Sausageberry. They absolutely slaughtered the back line of Mapslip and Hantra on ASU, and there was nothing else that they had to fight back. Kaisermord only was able to take just like Rammus okay out of the fight. Packrat fell as well, and at that stage, it's like, how do you hold up against that? Because my thought before that fight was you should just be prioritizing your Baron buff as much as possible. Get those lane priorities, push them in, don't worry about the dragon. But then the fact that ASU just full-on forced that fight with that fifth man of the dragon, fifth man because Sausageberry had to force teleport in later on. It's at that confusing stage of you shouldn't be contesting this with that capability that SBU had, and they took it anyways, and now it's just more favor and more advantages going over to the side of Stony Brook. And at this point, you don't have the tools to really break through the turtle shell of ASU's defenses just yet. Just wait a couple more minutes, get one more Infernal Drake, and then you're really going to be unstopped in these skirmishes and in these fights for no matter objectives.
Oh man, unstoppable feels right now after watching that last fight. It was just, you got to think, was it the wrong time to go on it? Did they not engage quickly enough for the side of Arizona State, or did they just have their priorities wrong, leaving the Drake alive a little too long in the fight and trying to get those picks? Either way, Kaisermord, he's 7-1 on this champion, but it seems, yeah, okay, bye. Just run. We're getting out of this one. Great escape. So we'll see if they can make it happen there. But the vision is coming down onto Slim. Can you make anything happen here? He's just gonna try to pick off. Yeah, last stand. That's a huge ultimate to just pop, and as well, I don't really agree with what we just saw there, breaking the stopwatch for that one either. Unless he's just able to buy the Zanyas on the next back before the next fight.
Yeah.
But that feels just a little trolly from Mapslim coming out this time around. Not what you like to see. The rest of his team trying to reset on this board here, but you can really just feel the pressure that this side of SBU is able to create with what we said. Hey, maybe this looks like a little bit of a trolly composition, but holy cow, the only people they're trolling right now are ASU and their towers.
Oh, maybe, just maybe. Mapslim on this Rumble that's 2-7 is just not what you wanted out of this. Like, the problem was into that early mid game that Sausageberry just got absolutely out of control, and you couldn't execute that mid game pressure plan. But Kaisermord, he's going to be able to take Michael Bacon here, but the rest of the fight is just flowing over once he gets out of Death Realm.
Absolutely. I mean, that seems to be the case for all of these. And there's a Kindred ultimate as well to just buy some time on this one. He's going to use his Zanyas of his own. But meanwhile, Michael Bacon on the killing spree. Adam W does go down. Packrat back in to try to find a little bit more onto this one. Sausageberry, low health, but high damage. Jimmy's coming through, but Hancha untouched thus far. Packrat not going to survive this one. It's a double for the Vayne. Can they make it more? That's the roll in for the triple. Vladimir, the next one to come out, has the damage, has the sustain, but can't outlive the Thresh, and the shutdown finally does lock in. That's going to be a huge one picked up for Mapslim. Desperately needed it. And just like that, well, they're down, but not out.
Oh no, these are just little fights here and there for SBU. I think that there's just a couple hiccups. ASU on that fight didn't really get the upper hand or anything on that side outside of Kaisermord and the fact that he was able to get a Death Realm and really knock someone extremely low before the rest of the team started to clash heads, because you get that kill, you get those bonus stats that you needed, and now you're just this massive powerhouse for the rest of the fight. But And now going in for this next Baron contestation, getting vision up and around it is ASU's top priority, because you need to make sure that there are no flanking positions that Packrat, Sausageberry, or even a Ramus OK on Kled could like find a like little weak point to abuse, because at any stage you could have Ramus on the chart, like Ramus OK with charge, come in and just break your ranks absolutely, because you need to be playing front to back. And with now Rumble's ultimate online, you want to make sure that they're in those chokeholds. It's going to be a little bit more difficult though, with Infernal Dragon breaking open the jungle just a bit.
Tension is most certainly building here between these two squads around this Baron. Either team is capable of coming out and taking the fight away, although you have to think that the edge does lie
Oh, I hear
in
a little charge.
SBU's favor. The charge does come in. They want to get in early, but it's only onto Jimmy, and what a huge waste this might be as they do try to get in onto Michael Bacon. The health bar going very low for that one, and he'll bet the pool, but is it in enough time to save him? In the meanwhile, he's just stalling. Adam W finally maybe going to go down. Kaiser Moore does pick that one up, but Hancha rampaging on through. This is the Bane starting to come online. Can you survive this one? There's the Kindred ultimate. Can you make anything happen on this one? Getting out of this one, Ramus OK will trade his own life for it, but meanwhile, it's only Packrat surviving on the side of SBU, and he's not going to survive for long. The ace does come out, and just like that, ASU win another one.
Round of applause to Kaiser Mord and Hancha in that fight specifically, because of how they were able to, one, with the Death Realm, delete an important character off of that fight, and it allowed Hancha to continuously kite back Sausageberry, because there wasn't that extra member either dealing that additional damage or being able to lock him down to make sure that Sausage was able to amplify his. So now with that second dragon going over for them, you have to look at this Baron once more, look at where they're going to be going. But, you know, again, like Hancha, if he's able to repeat that success that he had in that last fight with how well he was able to kite around both Ziggstorm and Sausageberry in total, you now you're gonna get some worries growing in the back of your mind for Stony Brook, because if this Vayne, after that next item, whichever it's going to be, whether it is an Infinity Edge or a Bloodthirster, you're going to be really concerned trying to take down that massive powerhouse for Hancha on this ASU side.
It's just a matter of letting this game go late. You know, we're on target for another 38-minute game. Surely at this point, with just the infrastructure that's left on the map. Yes, one Baron push, one Baron power play could crack this thing wide open, but you know what? This could go the distance, and even take us to a game 3 at this point if ASU play their cards right here. Either team definitely still capable of walking away with this one. We have some serious late game monsters coming out of either side. And Irelia and a Vladimir, just two things that you don't want to get fed in the late game. Well, hey, look at the reverse side of that. It's a freaking Vayne and a Mordecai. Man, I mean, it's just like, what are you beating your head against right here? The last few brain cells on each of these teams are just rattling around saying, is it Baron time? I think it's Baron time. I'm just saying this is the kind of game that's just draining the life out of both of these teams and saying, we just got to go late. No, well, they have to as well, but so do we. So do we fight now? Yeah, okay. Hey, I think we fight now. That's what's going through their brains right now. Adam W, well, he's trying to pick that one up. He's going in. Nice one. So many, and the Rumble ult's just sitting right on top of it, but there's Kindred, like we said, nullifying everything. Doesn't matter as Hancha popping off huge to slay Sausageberry here on the backline. Map Slim rampaging through, and just like that, ASU, well, they've cracked the code of the fights, or so it seems. And as Michael Bacon, well, he's going to do the damage back, maybe take Adam with him, but the flash is there to get him out. And it's only best Ramus. No one will be walking away with the Baron here today, but maybe a tower, to the credit of ASU.
And with the Guardian Angel used, 3 members alive, you don't have the tools to take Baron while Best Ramus OK is still on the board with Teleport, but you do have the men to take down this mid turret. Just any sense of advantage to gain back into your hands. Now bumping yourself up to, I think, one of the second, if not first time for ASU to have a gold advantage against Stony Brook in this second game. And it goes to show that is exactly how both of these teams have been playing their conditions perfectly. We talked about the draft and composition of how Stony Brook wanted to play. They always need to be just a few gold items ahead, just a power spike early, compared to ASU to always be winning these fights, which they've been doing for an extremely long time. But now it's gotten to that stage where those power spikes, there's bigger gaps in between them when you're getting these items, and ASU has been able to catch up. Their don't worry, we scale mindset has gotten online, and their team is just causing so much chaos here and there. And perfect example. Hacha on that backside with Jimmy being able to kite out Sausageberry, and then the three members of Adam W, Kaiser, and Mapslim are just able to like be this absolute nuisance of keeping everyone else isolated in that Lamb's Respite, because everyone's afraid if they just take a step out of there, they will just throw the fight and lose for their team at any of these situations.
You really have to applaud the peel mentality that's coming out of Arizona State University and how
For
well
sure.
they're doing keeping Hansha alive here, because these fights, they're scrappy, they're sporadic, they're chaotic, and just about everyone's dying, right? I mean,
Yeah.
when ASU's won the last couple, and really they've just kind of limped out of that one, or those ones, I should say. But, being able to peel for your vein on a team that has a Nautilus
Oh,
and
we're
a
not gonna let you
Vladimir
talk
is
now.
very
Worse.
big. Yeah, that's a tough one, Pack Rat. That might not be what you signed up for. And meanwhile, Sausageberry left quite alone on the back line to just
Jimmy?
absolutely get obliterated. Where was the rest of your team? Well, Michael Bacon's trying to make up for it right now, but Adam W already taken out of the fight. Is that just going to be enough? It's Jimmy's health bar very low. Map Slim already dominating, and Hanja still untouched. That's the big thing. You can't get onto the vein. You cannot win this game. The double kill coming through for Michael Bacon, but already Hansha is the one pouring back down this mid lane.
And it was just a little bit of a hiccup on the side of Packrat, just a little bit too aggressive, getting caught out by Jimmy and the rest of the team, and then Sausageberry following up his support, trying to make sure that no man gets left behind, and it was immediately into the realm of death for the Aurelia, and forcing this fight for the rest of the team when they were not ready to take it. And Dragon being up in about 60 seconds, all members will be ready for this. They will have the tools to fight it out once more, but it is Dragon Soul on the table here for ASU. If they take it, it is going to be spelling terrible news for the rest of the game for SBU. Their difficulty is just going way overboard from what they wanted.
Both teams absolutely would love to have this soul picked up for themselves here. If SBU can force it to soul point for themselves, that will just feel absolutely massive. And
Can he get
there's
it?
really no contestation. The equalizer goes down, but dang, it actually almost took it away.
Yeah.
Very close there at the end of the day to get picked up now by the likes of Best Ramus. Okay. Whew.
A little close. This is all right. You still have TP priority. Now you're going to have Vision going on to this top side once again for these Baron shenanigans that have been happening. And, at this stage, like this, I don't know about you, Corvus, but this game specifically is one of those where I'm not too excited I'm going to be solo queuing after this. Like, is this going to be the mess I'm going to be running into tonight, or is it going to be an absolute just complete mirror opposite of this? Because, these teams pretty solo queue. I don't know about SBU. That's like ranked flex, like you're in fives and you're saying, okay, let's try this out and see how well we'll do for Clash next month. But it's just this situation entirely that these teams are in is just so much chaos and so much indecisiveness on the big picture stage, that it's really just those small paintings here and there that really are changing the game and keeping it in this 37-minute stage.
Man alive. I mean, we've been less than 1,000 gold separating these guys for quite some time. The Baron may be the great separator here if they can make it happen. Adam W, the flag and drag potential over the wall to get in.
Oh, he did it!
A little early, but he steals it anyway. Man, you're kidding me. To take that one for himself, he will die. It's totally worth it if the remaining members can stay alive. Packrat already a little bit low, and Sausageberry, that's the big one. Kaiser Mort already godlike. Map Slim there with the Zonyas just surviving. You are kidding me, ASU. What a huge takeaway.
This is insane. The steal from Adam W is keeping them in this game and keeping them in this series. They're going to be pushing down, taking the inhibitor mid. Nice hook there, Jimmy. They're going to be securing the kill onto Kled right before Scarl is able to get back up. And honestly, the death time is at 30 seconds. You can win this game right here, right now. Just tank it up, Kaiser. That's all you need to do is shield it up here and there. You have the damage to do so. And the GG's coming out from the side of SBU. We're going to a game 3.
Yes, we are. And if it's anything like games 1 and 2, I predict that it'll be a bloodbath ending in right around the 38-minute range here, Coco. I mean, just statistically, holy cow. What a back and forth game. Equal on Dragons. The tower is pretty much dead even right until the bitter end there when the Baron does come away. And ASU just cracked the code on how SBU are fighting, and I think make the adaptations so well in that game to finally come out, take it away for themselves, and push us now to a game number 3.
Yeah. So like this is now because we know it's a show match. We know that these teams are having fun and they're just going to be throwing super back and forth between like how they're going to be drafting. It's now out the window entirely. We don't know what they're going to be playing. We don't know what SBU is going to be throwing out. We don't know what ASU is going to throw out. Are they going to do mirror matchups and say, you know what, let's both play the exact same comp and just see who does it slightly better? I actually want to see like a Kog'Maw Lulu bot lane just because I like that style. It's like the OG Zyra Khan for me back in season 3. But you know, anything is on the table here. Anything is off the table as well for these bans, and I don't think
Sure.
Kaiser Mord is going to be getting that pick anytime soon for this next game.
Can we take old school OGN like game 5 rules here? Just do it blind pick, right?
Yeah, maybe
Man, the days, right?
that'd
That would be something
be fun.
else here. So here, holy cow, at the end of the day, okay, both of these teams now trying to take this series away. Next game puts it in the books, seals it for themselves here, and I imagine we're going to have some pretty big shakeups to the draft as we did, here in this last game as well. So we'll give the players just a little bit of time to figure out the exact nuance of what they want to do with that one. We're going to throw it over to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have the draft for game number 3.
Wanna be all saints, trying hard to be someone else. All we want is please, giving no time to breathe. This is our identity. We turn our backs, we can't help, we're gone. This is our identity.
Well, thank you for sticking with us through the break, ladies and gentlemen. How could you not in a series like this? I mean, holy cow, game number 3. It's all I can think about as these two teams have been back and forth, bathing in the blood of their enemies thus far. One apiece now. One game separates one of these teams from essentially bragging rights, right? It is an exhibition, it's a show match, but they're getting some good dirt on each other, some good info, and coming into playoffs now, basically locked for both of these schools, trying to find out exactly how they're going to stand against the rest of the nation with Vegas in the hunt.
Yeah, and with like all this on the horizon, and with just the mindset of how these two teams, like in the sense of pride, going forward for this third game, you might take it a little bit seriously. Like just a tad. Like you might ban some things out that you don't want to deal with. You want to like just be the ones that come in and be like, "Hey, we took the W on the show match, and we're gonna take you down just as cleanly." But this ain't nothing but clean, buddy. Like this is just as bloody. If this is like a teaser of what these two teams are gonna be like when they actually clash once again, then I might be real excited. So keep on this vibe, keep on playing, but like maybe spice it up a little bit more with those picks in the actual games that matter, because that would be a lot of fun to watch how well Stony Brook's team is able to throw out with these unique styles. But nonetheless, we'll have to see how the pick and ban goes for these teams in game 3.
Well, it is live. It is large and in charge. We'll see what's getting picked up and where. I have a couple predictions. Probably not going to see the Mordekaiser
Yeah,
again.
probably not.
I don't think the Aphelios will probably be banned by SBU again. They may try to target something a little bit more dramatic. Hey, there goes Mordekaiser yet again. Hey, off the
Yep.
table. Great. If they stick to Set and Kiana like the game plan thus far, no problem. The Vladimir banned out by ASU, I like very much. We've just seen a lot of success with that one in the hands of this Stony Brook squad. So just getting it out, making sure you don't have to deal with it.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Alawi being banned out sort of prioritizes that the solo lanes are going to be the eye of the prize for these teams. I wouldn't be surprised if an actual Nautilus ban came through from ASU as well, just to sort of see something a little bit different
Hmm.
and not have to deal with that. Packrat did really well in the early game and was able to get his team ahead, but maybe it is something where ASU is like, you know what? Now that it's serious, let's not play Vayne this time around. Let's actually like practice something against this matchup that Nautilus might just be the thing that goes through.
Yeah.
In a sense of like junglers as well, like you still have everything on the board. And of course, Aphelios is actually that ban that we saw with the blank pick. So that is not going to be up and ready. And as a reminder, it is actually 10.3, right? So there are some changes. Senna is sort of nerfed to the ground. And the fact that, like, what is it? Who else was really taken out and gutted? Soraka top. Um, but I don't think any of that is really going to be a problem. Set, though, is actually taken through.
Someone banned in the last 2 games against him right in the first phase here. It was Set Kiana Mord in the first one,
Yep.
Set Aphelios Kiana in the second one, and now Set coming through here in number 3 with the Leona pickup left on the table. Stony Brook curious here. Another thing I'm seeing is there's no Kha'Zix ban just yet.
True.
So we'll see if Zixstorm gets that champion for himself. And oh, yes, he does.
Oh, this is going to be really interesting to see how well Storm is going to be able to just throw out in this game. If he's going to be able to like find anything top tier, because I actually haven't seen a Kha'Zix in an extremely long time.
Mm.
Like I not even this season yet. I have not seen a Kha'Zix in my games, in my normal games, in my ARAMs. Like he's not been anywhere.
In your
So for me,
ARAMs.
this is a complete enigma. And I'm curious to see how well a master of the champion will be able to dish out for me. Like, sure, it takes out the equation for me that Set is not going to be going jungle. He is 100% going to be going top lane, and you can do whatever counter pickups you want with that. Thresh did get grabbed for Jimmy, so you have that comfort pick on him as well. And at this stage, honestly, like, I don't like that mid pick. All right, I was
Ooh.
going to say pick something quick for your jungle that's a little bit more secure, or just finalize out your bottom lane. Like, just do something where hey, let's just grab up possibly what Lucian or Caitlyn. Just grab one of those marksmen that provides that safety in the lane and team fights. Misfortune is still on the board as well, and then Victor is the third and final ban or pickup for Stony Brook. So they got that direct counter to Azir, which is exactly what I didn't want ASU to have for that problem. So now you're going into the second ban phase. You can take out all of the marksmen you want for SBU, really get yourself to have a nice advantage and force ASU to have like a very questionable setup, or you can just start picking out some junglers that do give Kha'Zix a little bit of a problem.
We'll see what they do come to the table with here. As we have another blank band waiting on production to tell us what that's going to be at the
Would be
end of
Elise.
the day. There's the Elise coming down, sure. So been pretty consistent with that one. SBU is taking it off the table each and every time in the second round. Don't want to see it. Don't want to give it over to the likes of Adam W. He's been fairly good on the jungles. We've seen him, the Jarvan coming through and the Trundle as well. Something that was quite oppressive. The Pantheon taken off the table, not something they want to give over to well, that's a little curious because that Pantheon is betting that on that, being a set jungle. So I do believe that they're
Well,
trying to
maybe,
kind of
maybe.
kind of box him in to that one. So yeah, I'd still think the set's probably going to the top lane, and there's the Pantheon, maybe an insurance pick to kind of
Yeah.
help encourage that one, just in case ASU's have any second thoughts about where they will send this set. But the Kled ban at the end of the day, they didn't like dealing with the charge last game. Say, hey, you know what? It'd be a lot easier if Best ran us okay. It wasn't able to just, Kled right up on us.
Yep.
So they're going to axe that one and get us into this second round of the pickups here. And Lucian, the AD pickup now for ASU to round out with that Leona. That is an aggressive bottom lane.
Now, hold on. Keep tabs on that because in the LCS, Lucian has
Ooh.
been flex picked into the top lane. So be careful on that one. It is not finalized just yet because of the fact that like his kiting capability against Set is so easy because you have the W that gives you extra movement speed when you auto attack him, and you have the dash as well. So there's a lot of things that counteract into that. ASU has to take that into consideration as the Aatrox is picked up, which means that they're expecting this Lucian to go to the top side, and forces now set into the jungle. Aatrox top end. This is some really like reflexive stuff coming in from ASU, and it's sort of a result of them not having that final third proper pick, something where it's saying, you know what, let's pick this safety. You're now forcing that blind, which it creates so much chaos here and there. And you also have to say that the set first pick as well has caused them a little bit of trouble in this draft. So in the end, I highly doubt that's a Teemo, but it might be really. Okay, it's a Diana. A Diana. Okay, now this is getting
I can breathe
crazy.
again. Okay, I was.
No, we can't breathe because it's a Diana set Aatrox, like, and Azir. So who's going into the bottom lane with Thresh?
I'll
Like,
tell you
who's
where I'm
home?
going, Coco. It is home. I don't want to do this anymore.
You are home. Wake
I know.
up.
I
Wake
know.
up.
Here we go. Game number 3 getting ready. The Camille
Oh,
lock in
okay.
as well does have the Lucian in the
Ooh.
bottom lane. Camille running to the top side, or you'd expect to see that. Anyhow, did maybe just, very well bait the set into that jungle role or say, hey, we don't want to deal with it top. SBU definitely playing around the extension of their red side flex potential
Yeah.
quite well. And to the point where, yes, the Lucian picked up where we saw him picked up. I think it was very astute of you to say, hey, that's threatening. Now it's making us think, oh, where's the top lane going to go? Is this an Aatrox we have to pick up? And now being able to pick Camille into that Aatrox has got me very keenly
Yeah.
interested. Although we assume it's into the Aatrox. The Diana set, Azir, Aatrox, who goes where?
Yeah. Like, and it's something where it's like a complete counter philosophy and flipped philosophy for these teams where SBU is like, you know what, we're a game up. Let's just go ahead, do something fun. Let's do it Aurelia bot lane with Nautilus and see how well we do because we have a game to give away for this best of 3 series. And ASU just won. They're like, all right, sweet, we tied it up. Let's try something extra spicy. Like, that's not what you want to do. Sure, it's a show match, but that mindset in itself is just saying, you know what, we want to have our fun too. Let's just see what else we can throw out on the board. And maybe it's in a sense of like also chaos in a way, because when I look at how well Stony Brook was able to like manipulate the draft to be able to get counter picks sort of to Arizona's stumbles, it makes him like go into that mindset even more. Where it's like, you know what, like we're gonna have a losing matchup anyways. Let's just grab something else. Let's just have fun with it, and then see where the rest of this night is going to be taking us. Because set being locked in topside, Aatrox jungle, they're even mind gaming us even more now, Corvus. Oh no, it's Diana jungle.
It's
Is it
Diana
gonna be
jungle,
Aatrox
baby.
mid? Is it gonna be
So
Aatrox mid then? Don't lie
Aatrox,
to me. Unless it's Azir.
I think it's the Azir mid,
Don't meme
probably.
me. No, that's no Aatrox mid. Okay.
Oh my goodness, what are we seeing here? Hansha, the greatest Azir of our generation,
Oh god.
perhaps?
Maybe. Is he the
Or is
next
Hansha?
Phoenix? Oh no. What
Um,
is going on?
okay, so keep in mind here, the name you're seeing on screen, Lucina Berry. I am being told that is still just the ADC of SBU, maybe on a different account in which he owns the champions necessary to play this one. Always always fun. Being
Oh.
told by production, it's all about the Lucian skin on this account. So statistics be damned. We need the style points. That's going to be it. Hansha taking the Azir into the bottom lane against a Lucian Leona. We'll see what he can cook up against this one. As Jimmy, don't let him fool you. He's playing the Thresh here. Maybe he heard you, Coco, earlier. The Swain bomb.
Yeah, it's the Swain probably. Yeah.
Not going to get to see that. We do have to lock in, abide by the pro draft. As much fun as it would be if that were only suggestions, that would also be more chaotic than anything we've seen here to date. And we've seen some chaos.
Yeah, and it's a show match. If you have a really nice skin on Lucian, then hey, more power to you for swapping that swapping that account. Sure. Yeah. If it now it comes the question which Lucian skin is it? Is it Project Lucian or is it that what's that one, that Neon Night one that has with Garen,
Yeah,
right?
I know which
Trying to
one you're
remember
talking
what
about. I
it's called.
cannot keep skin names in my head to save
No.
my life. So
Chat probably understands.
yeah, at least
Chat understands us.
unless it's pool party, like I just it's all.
Yeah. Yeah, true. It's either pool party or base skin. That's all we
Yep.
need to know.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
that's
But
the zone
now
in which
it's
I operate, baby.
yeah, and now it's this I'm just getting this whole sense of SBU's gonna SBU should smash this game. Just absolutely should.
Should.
100%. You got your one trick on your comfort pick with Kha'Zix. You literally got the advantage of every single lane matchup, and you forced ASU to pick awkward. What else can you expect? And it's if ASU does what SBU did last game and just pops off, I still don't think they're going to have a chance because it's just going to be a mere reflection. They're going to outscale, they're going to have a better team comp draft, and you have to play it perfectly, perfect execution on the side of ASU to actually get any real massive rewards on this side.
I expect roughly a 38-minute game or so. Just
Yeah,
going
back
off
in the 38 minutes. Yeah.
what we were talking about. Yeah, can't let that one go yet. But what we have more pressingly than the 38 minutes is the 3 minutes, the delay that we're chewing on through here. We're just going to throw it over to a quick break. Before we do, obviously have to mention our wonderful sponsors, HyperX and GameStop. They're doing a lot of cool stuff to keep us running here in the CSL. You'll hear more about that as we do close out the night. But in the meantime, of course, we're going to be tossing it over to a quick break. And when we come back, we'll have game number 3. Well, appreciate you sticking around through the break, ladies and gentlemen. We know you want to get the League of Legends action. Both of these teams know you want all the League of Legends action. They're here to give it to you.
Yeah, so, back to the question at hand. Thinking this laning phase is going to be go Corvus, because for me, I'm really concerned for this bottom lane. Hansha, Jimmy, I don't know about you, Chief, but that just spells bad news to me.
Yeah, I'm kind of just expecting Adam W to play like laning phase doesn't exist and just be a gank monster in the faces of anyone and everyone he can and
Yeah.
try to get them out of the laning phase as quickly as possible. It's just what they want to find here. So we'll see whether or not that's what he can do. As it looks like he'll be moving towards the strong side of his map just to start that one off. Curious to see if Ziggstorm is just going to try to take out the red very early. And Kha'Zix does have a little bit of help clearing that. Doesn't need as much of a leash just with the isolation bonus that he's going to get there for himself. So
Yeah.
you don't really need the bot lane to take it as quickly. You can start red on Kha'Zix and still just be the monster that you were made to be. Whereas Adam W maybe just a little bit more locked into this one, having to deal with the leash. And that's going to get called out pretty quickly, actually. If you look at the position of the bot lane of SBU, I mean, they're played up. They're pretty aggressive for it. Just kind of waiting for the rotation back in. Curious to see if they're going to get a little early damage on this one. Here's Azir. Here's Thresh. Yeah, maybe just buying the time. And nice E to come in, but makes the play start just a little bit better of a pickup there for this Thresh.
I don't know, man. That's pretty darn good damage
damage
there on the Hansha. Like, that makes him real scared. Like, now it gets to the point where it's like he's playing on the back foot already. You have the advantage for the level 2 power spike. It means he can't farm up efficiently either. So you're pretty much guaranteed this lane unless you, like, really throw it up, like, really have a massive hiccup. And with Karud Ziggstorm on this top side means, like, he can convert, clear all this red side of the map for himself, and then possibly look to either assert himself onto the jungle side for Adam W, see if he can possibly sneak him out, because I would definitely give the advantage over to Ziggstorm on this one. I don't know really how well Adam W's set jungle will be on that side, but already he's actually rotating to the top end, quick on the draw with Adam W.
Yeah, wants to find it. Kaisermort is here as well. Best Ramus just trying to walk it on out of this one. The flash is there, but the flash is back in as well. Adam W with double buffs makes first blood very easy. Now, they did have to blow 2 flashes for it, but they're spamming the hashtag worth.
Yeah, worth nonetheless, and with Set on this jungle getting the first blood means that he's going to be able to clear just a little bit faster. He is walking to the side of Ziggstorm, seeing if he could find anything. He actually smells out this teleport from Ramus okay as well. This is just not going to be having any fun time on this top side. He's going to be going back again.
Yeah, no flashes, but does decide at the end of the day, hey, you know what, maybe just waste a little bit of time, burn off. I don't know if he got spotted. I guess not. Looked like he almost did, but decides at the end of the day, hey, we're just going to walk it out. We're not too stressed on that one, all things considered, and just shake it off. You still got the kill. You wasted a little bit of time, and maybe that's time that now Karud Ziggstorm can try to turn back around, but I still don't think it's going to amount for more than the kill, unless Ziggstorm can get a successful gank off here, which I'm feeling pretty doubtful of.
Yeah, possibly. The thing is, though, is that you wasted so much time on that top side, and there's really no true information just yet that I think SBU knows where he is, but you do see Ziggstorm on this bottom jungle sort of sniffing around, seeing what he can find. He noticed that, hey, the chickens have not been taken just yet. I think I'll go ahead and grab these for myself, and this will like ramp up a lot of that additional power farming. Yes, you lost the first blood, but it's just so much extra gold going into the pockets of Ziggstorm to get to those power spikes, to get to that additional gold that he wants, that sure, he's down 200 gold just because of that first blood take, but you're getting already like some additional camps on the side, and you're getting some extra vision in here. You just see those 2 red wards on that bottom jungle. That means you can sort of communicate to the rest of your team on how well you can play tempo and sort of control these lanes as well, to where Adam W is sort of located on the map.
Oh, man, yeah, get the couple wards off. Oh, you know, we'll talk about that in a second. We got a fight going on. It's maybe going to be a kill coming out as Adam W does go ahead and slay onto Packrat. Beautifully done there. So while Kha'Zix was getting the wards down, while he was finding himself a 6-piece bucket of that KFC, it's Adam W that was coming down, making the play for him. So that's Kha'Zix fried chicken, by the way, for any of you legal members out there that may try to give us some guff. Adam W was the one to come down. and take that one out and away. And now the Dragon, an Infernal Drake, a pickup here earlier would be the case, but here's Kha'Zix trying to get a much bigger bird for himself on this one. He's actually hooked into smite range, but the smite fight was won out by Adam W there very nicely. They want to keep the fight going, though. Here's Leona. Here's the E in, and Michael is going to feel great about that pickup.
And with that Dragon take, there's just that caster curse of me sort of applauding Kha'Zix, Karut's Zik Storm. There, I'm just going to keep naming Zik Storm. It's a real mouthful. I didn't learn my lesson. But, like, keeping him, like, he rewarded, oh, wow, look at all that vision he got. But then Adam W just walked straight down the lane, got the lantern, got the kill, then got the Dragon, no problem. And then, yeah, sure, Jimmy died on that back end for the amount of stuff and amount of resources they were able to take. But so far, Adam W's set jungle is just dominating Zixstorm here, and it's starting to grow some concerns. You're getting some questions. Was this solo like one-trick pick really worth it? Because right now, it's not showing any bright lights here in this early game.
Certainly feeling behind too against Adam W on this set, who's somebody we talked about. We didn't have a lot of confidence in this jungle pickup coming in early. We thought maybe it got baited to the jungle role.
Yeah.
By the side of just some clever drafting by SBU, but ASU is, I would say, a very well coached team. Their coach is one of the more kind of vocal people on Twitter that I do see talking about the game and the degree to which he's putting in the work there. So you have to think, okay, yeah, maybe they had this one planned all along. Adam W was the one that wanted the set, or at least felt comfortable in the flex. It's paying dividends thus far.
Yeah, and that comes into question, right, with the coaching is, like, if that is the case, like, if he actually did draft this, well, good on you, but if this is all reaction as it is estimated, it's still a good commendation because of how well he's able to, like, tell his team exactly how they should be playing, the expectations they should be looking for going into this game and with the matchups that they have. For Collimer on ASU the coaching, like, you just got to give him more respect, but on Zixstorm, going to be getting more attention.
Yeah, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble there. Camille is throwing down the challenges, and he's got the damage, but Zixstorm has it all at the end of the day to pick it on up for himself, and taking that one out and away, not letting the top laner secure it. That's okay, because jungle's where the deficit is, right? So Zixstorm wants to catch up, wants to be as impactful as Adam W, and says, give me that kill early. You're Camille. You're going to be fine, irrespective of what happens, as long as you get that farm in. Let me take this. Let me try to run it in to the mid lane, to the bot lane, to anywhere else I can, and just be the Kha'Zix I was meant to be.
Well, and you're saying, oh, let Zixstorm catch up. Yeah, sure, in pressure, but he is actually low. Like, he's up in levels experience. Like, currently, he had level 6. He was around half XP up to level 7, and Adam W did just hit that level 6 mark. So that additional farm is helping him catch up. And with the fact that 2 kills have happened on the top side, and both of them have been jungles, is just this pressure of how important this role is in controlling these neutral objectives. You did just get that Rift Herald now on this bottom side, and at this point it's just Stony Brook having a lack of communication, trying to tell exactly where Adam W is, and that's really what they're reaping the rewards of for ASU. They're on point, they understand what they need to be doing at the right times, and SBU is not relaying that information to Zixstorm, and it's more of just a sense of confidence and pride blurring their vision.
Pride and accomplishment, perhaps, question mark? But no, here's the Leona coming in with the ultimate. Not good enough to bop the Azir wall coming through, but Jimmy going to be picked up at the end of the day by Michael Bacon, picking that one nicely out of the crowd. And Map Slim, a little late on the rotation, but better late than never, or so they say. Maybe not, if you can't turn this one into anything. Packrat getting the kill, or at least securing it for Lucinabury there this time around, and it all comes up Zixstorm as well.
Ooh, get away, buddy.
I don't know if Adam W is going to be able to do anything about this one.
Yeah, he was in range to flash ultimate and possibly get a kill onto somebody, but they were able to get out just in time for that one. Nope. Well, I think he smells a Zixstorm, who's able to hop away, but now, with that dive, it's a really nice commendation. That wave was pushed out. This is sort of that counter matchup that Map Slim is having to struggle with. Sure, you have some damage to come in with Diana, but it does take a little bit of time to get online with her items that she requires, as well as how Conqueror works. Oh, there's a flash.
Yeah, he wants it, even into the chickens, even into, it could be isolation. Not worrying about that one and keeping Zixstorm running pretty far away for this time. It's the, 2-0 versus 2-0 junglers here against themselves. Adam W.
Yeah.
made the statement that he wanted that one for himself. Now, meanwhile, the mid lane, not quite going to get
We're
ganked.
top lane.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Kaiser Moore and Best Ram is just slapping each other around pretty heavily. Both of them have died once. Kaiser Moore is just sitting very heavily on some nice CS advantage. Not going to waste his flash to come in after Best Ramus. Knows he's got a huge uptick there in potential. Going to try to pressure this lane and force perhaps a teleport early, or at least get some pressure if this goes awry at the Dragon. They want to get in on this Lucian, though. I don't think he's got any way out of this one. This one just hurts.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate catch there. Jimmy was on the draw with that one. Packrat has to flash away from maps. I don't think he's going to get out of the woods just yet.
Yeah, flashing away from Diana always stinks. Just brings Michael Bacon back into the fold, and what a hook just at the edge of the hitbox to get in onto Packrat, throwing out the desperate blade at the end of the day, just trying to get something, trying to buy a little bit of time. And it's got Michael Bacon back to the mid lane, but it's got Dragon well set into the eyes of this Set and Thresh duo.
I don't know, Zixstorm does have the potential to steal it. His ultimate is up, but he decides, you know what, that's not the chance. It's not the risk. It's only the second Dragon. Nothing too big. Let's see what map it's going to be, and then it is the ocean map as well. So this is where best map still, I would argue that it is the most primary choice for everyone, but at the stage now, I do see a little bit of a Best Ramus on Camille roaming down to this mid lane, seeing if they can possibly get Michael Bacon some extra turret plates here on Mapsland.
We'll see. They do want to get in for the dive very quick and efficiently. Vladimir, though, not the easiest to dive, but if you can lock him up, you can do the damage, and he has nothing to hold back in. So that's the teleport coming out and through. They'll bring the Aatrox down to the party just to say, hey, my tower, and you stay away from it. But Adam W, meanwhile, maybe looking to pick a little bit of a fight here. He is isolated, and in a 2v1, Kaiser Moore trying to get there just in time. And can you do anything about this? What a fight, what a kite coming out from this Vladimir. And meanwhile, Adam W is just getting dragged up and down the court, breaking ankles here on this rift.
Oh no, we're still fighting here on the bottom side.
Oh, Jimmy, he's got to pop that stopwatch. Is it going to be anything to buy him some time? But they want to get in onto Packrat, and Hansha takes that one back for himself. The supports traded out. Kaiser Moore finally feeling the sweet release of death for himself this time.
Now with the supports going down 1-for-1 on that bottom side, and the massive advantage going over to Zixstorm with that fight. SBU now in the driver's seat, 2,000 gold ahead. Sure, no Ocean Drakes for them just yet. It's going to be up in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And it comes now to how they're going to amplify this tempo. Currently, they will have the possibility to actually start throw some vision out. Like, this is the perfect time for the rest of SBU to recall, grab some control words. I want to see control words in like everyone's pockets right now, just to prepare for the coming storm. Make sure that you can track Adam W, who's been playing in the shadows, and do the, make sure you can possibly get a kill out of that. Like, that burst damage is insane there, and Hansha is still not even close to getting his Luna's Echo. Actually, he has around 1,400 gold in his pocket, so he's fairly close to getting it, but with 1,800 in the hands of Lucina Burry, you're going to get that Essence Reaver comparison to Luna's Echo, and it's just going to be an absolute nightmare to deal with for ASU coming into this mid-game stage.
Well, the nightmare is something that ASU trying to wake up from here, trying to get this game back in control for themselves. 3K gold down at this point is one of the more dramatic deficits I believe we've seen thus far. Just as very even games going on through, very late game focused matches that we have seen. Well, this time you got a 4-0 and 1 Kha'Zix right in your face. You got Camille and Victor each with some kills to their name, and the Lucian certainly no slouch, as we were able to see the damage he was quickly able to dispense onto Hansha there in that last exchange. So now objectives become more critical than ever for this team that is ahead, for the one that can pick fights essentially wherever they want to. The onus is on SBU.
Hansha is in trouble. Look at the party coming down here to make his life a little bit worse.
Man, Leona is a champion that can just drop that CC on you from a quarter mile away, and if you get too close, oh Lord help you. Here comes Hansha trying to get the fancy feet out, but look, there's the ultimate. There's the E to connect. He gets a huge wall to back him off there, but Thresh just pulling him right back in, trying to keep things interesting here. Hi, it's Jimmy. Says hello, but won't be able to do really much more than just dissuade the dive in the tower. That's the real prize, and that's what SBU's walking away here with.
Yeah, and I'll take the W on that one. You only used for a cleanse and push away with the box as well. So through 2 ultimates for 1 as well as a summoner spell, that's a pretty good trade, and it still allows Ziggstorm to really roam anywhere he wants on this bottom side of the map. Adam W did just solo the Rift Herald. Sure, that's nice, but you need to make sure that you actually use that to swing tempo back into your favor, and at this time, the rest of it has to happen.
No, they're doing what they can to ensure that they can just take their territory right on back. ASU, they're feeling pretty chippy about this one. They still want to fight. They still feel like they can do it at any good time here. And you see that in the top lane. You see that here in the jungle. You see that just about everywhere. You're going to look for it. It's now Best Rammus feeling the heat there. That's Rift Herald coming on down. Set did pop that one for himself. Mid lane going to be the focus here. And they may be able to take this tower for themselves, but leaving Lucinaberry there in the bottom lane becomes very interesting. Whether or not he's going to actually try to take the back, just keep pushing this one out. These are the decisions they have to make very quickly.
Yeah, and the fact that Kaiser Mord is doing so well on this Aatrox on the top side is giving a little bit of a sigh of relief for ASU, saying, you know what, our top side, don't have to worry about it. Rammus OK is not having a good time of his life in this side. Does definitely throw that frowny face cat, but you know, it's very much like that's the TLDR of that lane. It's just, man, this sucks. Like, this is supposed to be a counter matchup, and I'm just getting absolutely thrown around right now. And Ocean Drake is available. You do have TP priority right now. So if I'm Rammus OK, I go ahead, recall, fill up on health. You do have 1100 gold, so you can go ahead and grab the Stinger. Actually, you're able to just buy the Triforce right out. So that's pretty good. You have TP available. Hold on to it. Make sure nothing crazy gets really initiated on just yet, and make sure that those flanks are available. You see a couple wards in the jungle of ASU have the TP capability. You do have your ultimate online. If any fight starts out, you're going to be ready. And here you go.
Well, the fight's starting out. That's going to be Kha'Zix taking that one up for himself, but Leona Packrat going to be the main focus. It's a nice stopwatch to just buy some time, but the health bar's still too low. Hansha does pick that one up, but meanwhile, they lose Jimmy, they lose Hansha. It's a double kill. It's more coming out as they only now have Map Slim remaining, and this is huge pickups for both Karud, Ziggstorm, and Lucinaberry coming out, cashing in huge on that fight. The Drake as well, and the ace in their eyes. If they can just sniff out, you check the wrong bush, it's okay. Just push the lanes, just take the towers. You've earned it.
Yeah, and with this, you're going to be having the second turret being broken open for the side of SBU to still the 0 that ASU has been able to snag for themselves. You look at like the plates that we're able to get, not many. They weren't really even able to grab any plates on that bottom side. Top side, a little bit more advantageous, but overall, like, you're at this point where 4 minutes after that break, both Rift Heralds have been taken, and you weren't really able to do anything with them. So at this point, we talked about with the draft, like, you had to play perfectly to have your composition be effective into this mid-game stage, and you were not able to do that. You were not up to par, and now you are going to be struggling, and really the only carry you have is going to be Kaiser Mord on this Aatrox, who's at least doing some damage here against Packrat.
Yeah, I mean, you like to see it. It is the support versus the top laner. They are going to listen to the help of Hansha there just to get him the kill, just to keep this Azir in the contention, in the running. That's what they need here, is a very strong presence here being felt by the Azir. If he's not going to have, you know, the AP hyper carry that you exactly want to out of Diana, well, hey, maybe you can turn it into Azir. Maybe you can make exactly what you're looking for here. But
Adam does.
All in the face, trying to pull Ziggstorm on back. That's a teleport as well. Map Slim just bringing him right back into the center of this one. Takes out Lucinaberry. Says there's no hope for that one. And hi, it's Jimmy. He's eating the isolation just to buy some time. What a hell of a lantern, though, to bring in the reinforcements. And Hansha here as well with the quick dashing and blashing on in. That's going to be Map Slim setting it up for Hansha to dunk it right on down. And meanwhile, we did lose Best Rammus OK. Jimmy, though, it's a bold one to try to turn around. Couldn't run, so he tried to get the hook. Wasn't able to find it. Backrat's back, baby. And Adam W., well, he's feeling the pain of that one. Michael Bacon feeling good about this one, but how good can you feel? The barrier is popped. The stun is there. It's all Leona, but the triple kill credit going to Michael Bacon in a huge one. And Map Slim teleports on back, but I don't think we're seeing anything more out of this one, Coco.
Yeah, no, there was going to be really great news for ASU for such a long time, and then right at that last stand, at the very finishing of this fight, Michael Bacon was able to get that triple kill on the Adam Kaiser and Hansha. And yes, you lose that turret on the bottom side, but it negates all of the other advantages that ASU would have been able to take. So only the pressure is are gained onto your bottom end. Lucina is able to answer it. You can reset that wave, get some control, prep for Baron. Look at the vision you have on bottom side. Even just use that in a sense. Just say, you know what, let's play around their red. Let's see if we can find a pick. Like, all the members are, but none of the members are actually like really fully ready. I think Zixstorm is still like, after that fight, he's like, okay, hold on, let me farm up. Let me get another power item. Let me see if I can get like Dustblade, and then let's try and rinse and repeat and find some more picks later on. But I think don't like keep your foot to the floor, pedal to the metal, and just continue trying to oppress these 4-man splits and see if you can get Rammus OK out of this side lane, because he's just having a terrible time against Kaiser Mord. And if you're able to get that catch, say, you know, push the wave, just run right up to mid lane and find some numbers advantages, really that's the way to do it for SBU. But ASU, you know, if you're not able to get at least massive amounts, just try and take an inch at a time. Try and wiggle your way back into this fight, and that's all they really need to do at this stage, is just play it safe, find those picks, and punish.
Yeah, both teams trying to bless up here, feeling like, you know, neither's a stranger to this roving Gestapo death squad, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's definitely what SBU want to find for themselves. You can tell they got the Leona here, just trying to roll down. Can they kill Kaiser Mord? Okay, probably not. They're gonna back it off. They got the vision. Lock it down a little bit further. Hey, you got Dragon coming up before too long anyway.
Yeah, it's in like 30 seconds.
So just, you know, keep this pressure out alive and well with your ward line. Make sure that if the fight does break out, we're there for it and we have the advantage. Michael Bacon in that top side, though, is going to be a pretty free flag to say that if the members on the side of ASU, excuse me, want to get down here for it, they can. Now, Mapslim without the teleport does make that just a little bit more complicated than hanging around the Baron as well. Always something that teams do need to consider. But the rally in the mid lane is there already for ASU, and just priming this wave out before they start making moves on this Drake. I like what I'm seeing here because they're going to have just a little bit of priority about it, but not if they don't do their due diligence and check this one, because if they get ganked out of this rush, this could be so dangerous, and Zixstorm gets a little bit froggy and jumps too early.
Oh no, that's just a little unfortunate for that one. You know, all still up and available here for SBU. Oh, and then same for ASU as well. Like, honestly, I guess you could contest it, but I like what Mapslim is actually doing, saying, you know what, let's just hard push this mid lane, see if we can get a turret on the back end. The rest of his team wasn't with him, though. They were not on that same level, so they don't even get this turret as well. So just a great just advantage here from SBU, knowing that they were able to transfer down a little bit quicker this time.
Feeling probably a little frustrated at that one, just peeling off by the wayside. You know, you can just tell the way Mapslim's pathing right back up the top lane dutifully. Okay, well, if I can't push this tower, I'll push this tower. Just keeping the next thing right in front of him here. So with another Drake, 2 Oceans now in the pocket for this team. Oh, hang on, ASU. Kaiser, can you turn this one back around onto Burry? No, Zixstorm is there, and Adam W. maybe just biting off a little bit more than he can do. He wants to get the kill. The Thresh Lantern out, though, says no to that one, and the fadeaway hook not going to connect. So Lucina Burry gets away with one pretty cleanly there.
Yep. Well, that's crazy. That amount of damage that came in from Zixstorm, you know, it's 7-1 Kha'Zix. You gotta expect that to come happen through. He has 1,700 gold now, so I think he's just a few hundred, if not actually on par for that Dustblade. He actually went with the Umbral Glaive instead, so just as good, and you get to auto-attack wards, just one, and it is perfect, because then he's able to control that vision even more for his team. And into this top end, when you're 24 minutes in, you look at these two teams saying, okay, how quickly can these teams take Baron? The answer is really heckin' fast. So you got to make sure that you have that vision control around this Baron and make sure that you can see if you can find Hantra. You can probably clap Hantra really quick as Kha'Zix at this moment. So being able to have the capability and the knowledge to just delete him, you're going to be great. You know, you actually get caught up by Mapslim, so maybe not the best.
Speaking of deleting, we'll see who comes out on top of this one. It's Mapslim starting it, but it's Zixstorm finishing it, baby. Says, you want to fight a Kha'Zix in isolation? You lose that battle. You lose that battle 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. It was close, though. It was really close for a little while. Honestly, like, if he had his Zanya's Hourglass, he might have been able to get it, but it means that they have numbers advantage for this Baron. Teleport is not up for another 4 seconds, so this is actually perfect timing here without them knowing it. and they're able to take the Baron here without any problems because Kaiser Moore, he's saying, I can't go there. I got 5 more seconds, and they were taking it so quickly that 5 seconds was just enough for SBU to get this power play.
We were talking about the pick in the context of, roaming together. It was actually just something that came to them. The pick was right in their hands, and now the behind the tower, the dive, it's onto a tanky Thresh, and maybe a little bit more than they can chew is Michael Bacon dominating, but they do end up losing the Camille for that one as well. The tower, though, the bigger takeaway at the end of the day is what they want. Now, they've called back Kaiser Mord. He does have to just play defense on this one, cannot push that inner tower too much further. Only serves to underscore the fact that there's only one freaking tower down now for the side of ASU. In 25 minutes, closer to 26 now, all the kills, all the gold that's been exchanged, they've only taken this bot lane tower. And sure, thanks to the efforts of Map Slim, mid and top are both feeling a little bit under the weather there. Neither are looking very healthy, but Hansha, baby, flashing out of that one, but you can't do anything. He just jumps right over the wall and is picked up out and away at the end of the day there. Kha'Zix coming online. We called it into question after his early game, after, Adam W. hopped out to a very quick 2-0 start. Hey, was this Kha'Zix pick worth it? I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, at this point, that's pretty comfortable to say that one, Chief. And I'd have to say a lot of it is the team that he has around him, that Lucina Berry and Packrat have been able to get these advantages and get these kills and sort of be there when he needs them. And same with Michael Bacon. Like, the fact that they're able to get those additional, turnarounds, like, for example, the one where he was able to get that triple kill just after that Rift Herald contestation and was able to negate any sense of ASU grasping back into this game, just gives him more and more confidence in himself to be able to roam around, get these finds, get these picks, and have no issue just using a flash to take down a 5-4 Hansha. So it's now at this stage where this pressure always in the corner of SBU coming into this third Ocean Drake, they can say, look, we can pretty much have this soul and be unstoppable in around 12 minutes, but we could finish the game even earlier.
They're trying to go in for the kill right here. Lucina Berry, nicely done onto Kaiser Mord. Double kill to pick it up onto Adam W as well. And now this is the real trouble, as Leon Ult just popping in means that absolute decimation is coming through onto Hyatt's Jimmy. The tower not long for this world either, as Michael Bacon still very healthy, able to attack this one. They just backed Lucina Berry right in the middle of that. They got the kills they wanted. They're just going to refresh that health bar. Go send Baron somewhere else. We got this, dude. They're taking the Drake away now as well, something they do want to lock in the third Ocean for themselves. Just so much sustain here. And 3 Ocean Dragons in a row. Whew. That is a tough son of a gun to come back from if you are ASU, letting all that slide by the wayside.
Yeah, we're almost at Wolverine levels of regeneration. We're only at 7% or 7.5% of your missing health every 5 seconds. They get that Ocean Soul, then you're gonna have 10% of your health healing every 5 seconds, plus the healing from the Ocean Soul. I don't know if there's gonna be any way to actually kill any of the members after that, unless you absolutely burst them down just like that. But Zix Storm, too much damage on that side.
Ooh, Best Rammus, okay, getting the credit after that one for himself. Finally, another kill on the board. He had one for the first little bit of the game, but that one will be nice enough for him as well, just to say, hey, you know what, maybe I can be relevant, maybe I can contribute, because at this point, it's just sharing in on the fun. Lucian can kill so many people. Victor can kill so many people. Really, the 1v1s are already tough enough without Camille coming online as well. That just makes it, well, all that much more difficult.
Yeah, and now the question for me is still 1 in 5 Aatrox and Kaiser Mord. I still feel like he is actually pretty strong. I think he understands the matchup against Camille really well, but he's no longer able to have that privilege to be in that one-on-one situation. He has to be with his team. He has to be fighting in these 4v5s and allowing Camille to constantly split push and do what she does best. So at this point for ASU, the question comes into, are we just relying on these errors of SBU to be our only way back into this game, or is there any possibility to force ourselves into a state of actual control? And honestly, I think that answer is still yes. You can honestly, right now, they're clumped up, you can group up, there's no, Best Rammus is still pushing. It comes to the point where that player will think, oh, well, I could teleport into the fight, or I could actually go in and walk my way down and have that confidence for my team to sustain. But he decides to go back up to that top side and answer this split push. So now you're playing into the hands of SBU. They're doing exactly what you want when you could have had a go button at this moment of time saying, you know what, we don't know where Camille is, but we expect her to be playing this way. Let's enact on that. And if not, then it's just a bet, like it's just a call that went awry due to the lack of information that SBU is granting us.
I mean, yeah, the ward starving out alone and the vision war that's been
Yeah.
so deftly executed here by SBU is really, I think, the backbone of the ability for them to just continue to push out these lanes, continue
Yeah.
to keep pressure going. I mean, it doesn't help that there's still 2 outer towers standing, right? So it's not like a wave has a very long way to go before it bounces for the side of ASU, but they've never been able to get their siege online. That's a huge risk you run when you don't draft, I don't know, an 80 carry, right? Yeah, that's significantly going to impact your siege potential. And already, they've seen that with the towers. Towers now that they're losing in spades on the other side of this map. And right as the Baron's coming up, man alive, if SBU aren't ready.
Yeah, they're gonna take it. Like they had a problem contesting it last time because of how fast they took it. They take it even faster now. Bam, it's done. There you go. You got your second Baron. It's even more empowered now than it was before. You have Dragon in 1 minute and 40 seconds. So you're at this point again for SBU. You are both hands on the wheel. All members are online and good to go. So like play around these buffs and play around this vision that you were able to deny of ASU and take out those members, take out those people that step out too far. Like when I look at Mapslim, who he's been playing confidently on this Diana, he's 3 and 4. You can still pick him really quickly, and honestly, it might get with that grab on the Dominic's regard for Zixstorm. You might be able to just instantly kill Hancha underneath turret and just like get out, no problem.
Well, that's what they're definitely looking to do at the end of the day. Is that really the last remaining threat is Hanja on this Azir, right? Somebody that you absolutely
like barely
have.
at that point. Too.
Yeah, I know, but certainly I think if Packrat's going to just drop the perfect ball onto anyone and just blow somebody up before the fight starts, that's probably who they're looking to do. I think they can deal with just about anyone else from a damage perspective at this point. So priming them out, getting the lanes where they want to, certainly the right call for themselves here. But I think what gets a lot more interesting is Mapslim with this teleport playing a dangerous game, having to back early because towers, hey, they take one back in the board, very nice to themselves. They're playing a very risky game here.
Yeah, like they're playing extremely risky. 10 seconds up till Dragon Soul. Like he needed to recall to be ready for this dragon, for this contestation. Now all members have to just sprint right over to this dragon. Like you can't recall here, Hancha. You have to be here for this fight or you're going to be giving over to Dragon Soul. And they're just deciding to forfeit this, which to me just shows that they are really ready to throw the white flag up and wave it around and say, you know what, like come on for this fight. I think like they're confident in the fact that they could possibly try and take this. This is some Wolverine level regeneration, like I said earlier. Like this is going to be really hard to kill these members because of how much they're actually going to be able to regenerate off this dragon. Like Camille alone with this buff heals for like 300 a second if she auto attacks someone, which is insane. Like you gotta watch out for this because they're walking into the front door.
There's, yeah, absolutely just bursting down, kicking the door in, saying, hey, here comes the first inhibitor. I don't think, Coco, that this is going to be the last one either. They definitely just want to slam this one down. First tower, an inhibitor gone down. Second tower, an inhibitor now in the works, is absolutely getting eviscerated by this Baron up minions. We'll see if they even want to follow in for another tower. Adam W's health bar quite low here. The Ocean Drake just priming them to take as much punishment as they want and absolutely just destroy throughout entirely anyway. Do they even bother fighting? Do they just keep up? Adam W going in for one last ditch effort, but he's surrounded by so many members, and here's Camille trying to come on through. Best okay, gets in onto Mapslim. They're going to get more out of this one. Lucina Burry just trying to survive on the back line. There's that Ocean Drake coming up. Huge, the double kill already in and out. Kaisermord is down. Jimmy, they just want the blood at this point. We had so many kills in the last couple games. They're trying to make up for it here at the very end, at the last night before their homework is due, but it's all coming up SBU at the end of the day. And in almost 35 minutes, they finally take game number 3.
Yeah, okay. It wasn't 38 minutes, so that's a plus. Like,
I was wrong on one little thing here, off by 3 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's all right. 34-35 final score. You did double the kills this time around, and what is it, that quintuple the turrets. They only got 2 turrets that time. Like, this is just great news here for the side of SBU, just ending that one with the perfect show match finish. And there's nothing else but commendations for these two teams. Like, in the end, doesn't matter. These teams are in for the new season. They're going to be going into those playoffs at any time. They're just having some fun. But in the end, like the rest of Twitch chat knows, this is for pride, and you'll always be able to have this in your back pocket whenever a roasting session comes up.
I mean, absolutely. To take the time out of a Tuesday to play an off schedule game just to show what you can do. And I think, from a show match perspective, this worked out very well for the likes of SBU, who were able to kind of showcase two different styles of play fairly effectively. They first played the first two games quite well, winning game number one, coming back after some deficit there, and then never looking back. Game number two, yes, they gave up trying to play the same game under different circumstances. Game number three, they said, hey, we're just not even going to worry about that. We're going to play our game. We're going to change it up, and have demonstrated kind of what makes them one of the better schools here, and why their undefeated record, in theory, if this counted, would still be unchallenged. Obviously, it still is unchallenged because, they couldn't lose anyway, but regardless, feeling very well about this show match, feeling very well about their chances coming in to the
Yeah.
finals, and I think have come out looking quite strong on an evening like this.
Yeah, you know what? At the end of this all, I think there's nothing left else for us, Corvus, except thanking not just the teams for ASU and SBU, Stony Brook, Arizona State. Thank you so much for having this, but also, we couldn't have done this without our sponsors.
Right, of course, yeah. Definitely shout outs to our sponsors there. The wonderful HyperX, our peripheral sponsor for the remainder of the CSL season, including our wonderful live event in Vegas. We got, I think, usually a couple stages going on, a lot of different players and peripherals and stations there that HyperX is really coming in hugely clutch to support us with there. Finals are going to be mid-April, thereabouts. I believe the 16th, 17th, although I could be wrong on that, so please don't fact check me and make me look foolish. It's almost midnight. So regardless, thank you to HyperX for that one. Of course, huge shout out to GameStop as well for everything they're doing to sponsor collegiate esports this season with their GameStop weeklies. You can find out more information on that at gamestop.com/esports. All the weekly tournaments that they got going on. Get your friends together, win a little cash playing games you love. It's pretty late in the season, but we still got some big titles like League of Legends, Smash Ultimate, Rocket League, and TFT to round out the remainder of this calendar year. So definitely get involved with that one. And as well, GameStop Bootcamp. We might have a screen for that one to flash as well. But regardless, GameStop doing a ton to support the CSL this year, and we cannot thank them enough. Of course, thanks to you all as well for tuning in. Thanks to the schools. And catch us same time, same place, Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We got more League of Legends action coming your way. And if you just need more esports, well, of course, CSL is on every evening with a different title. So please stick around if you liked what you saw here tonight. But that's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kyle Corvus Crow. That is Coco the Dragon. And you can find us on Twitter. Give us your feedback. Let us know what you thought of the cast. But for now, we have to say goodnight. Thank you so much for tuning in.